We won't be on long today. I got a couple things I got to do. But we're having our summer sale today. Thank you for those of you for supporting our sale. Because, we try to make the best screen paints on the market. Back them up, test them, and all that good stuff. So, yesterday, when doing the updates for the site, I'm in love with this. Prime has this this Netflix, not Prime, not Netflix. Prime has Fallout, and I told you, man, I don't know why people who do movies and games and stuff like that don't let people do trailers, because a lot of the movies that I purchase and games that I purchase came from just watching a couple of seconds of somebody uploading something on Facebook or YouTube. And I just happened to be in there on Facebook, and um, I saw I saw this movie. I saw this guy, cowboy, and his mushroom cloud, and all of a sudden, I'm like, what the freak is this? And as I'm watching it, they said Fallout. I was like, oh, that's Fallout. Now, I played a couple games of Fallout, but I never really got into it, which I wish I did, and I'm kind of regretting that because I downloaded the game. The game is freaking amazing. So I decided that I got a gaming PC I want to build. I'm not doing console anymore. The PS4 is going to be my last system, and I'm going to build my own gaming PC. So I thought, what kind of theme I want to go with, and bam, it's calling me. So I found the record. Not cheap. It's definitely not cheap, but I found the record. So I'm going to be building this retro wooden case. It's going to look like an old, like a, how can I say it? It's made like an end table. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to have a record player installed, a vintage record player. It's going to play The World on Fire. That I like to play that. I like that music. And it's going to look really crazy sick, because I got to do something way outside the box on this thing. I'm even installing two small projectors, which I had to take those whole thing apart. I have a friend of mine who does he does the 3D printing technology. That's what he does. He has these big industrial machines that he does. This guy can print you a table if he wants. But yeah, I talked to him and I said I need a special case for this thing. So he's going to design the projection units are going to go for this. It's going to look like, they're like 35 millimeter like casings. That's what he's going to design. So we're going to take this technology and stick it in an old-fashioned casing. And I like one of the ones they had over here. They had this kind of window readout display, but it's a sticker. I don't want a sticker. I want that thing to actually move. So we need one projector for there. They get that to move. We're going to design a custom green transparent screen, so it comes up white when it transfers to, but it shows up green. So we're going to be doing that one right there. This is not the piece that we're using. This is just to give you an idea. Well, it's nowhere near like anything like this. And we're going to have one actually cut for the top. So I need a machine that I can cut. I can get into the case, cut it anywhere I want. So looking for, because I need an actual wooden case. And the wooden cases are super expensive. I found this. And it's actually perfect. Literally, I could cut whatever I want, install whatever I want, in order to put my shelves in. Anywhere I could have put brackets and all that stuff. I could build an entire PC in here with no problem whatsoever. And it's a pretty good size. Now, what got me on the record, I'm looking at this right here. And they're showing this. There's the hinges and stuff. Probably have to remove all those hinges, because we can't have those in there. They're too new. So we got to get some old-fashioned hinges. And yeah, we're going to have to make the wood look like it's been there for some time. Like it's been there in the apocalypse for some time. So everything's going to have to be aged. All these hinges are going to have to be pulled out to be done. And I'm probably still going to have to do some woodwork on it, because it still has to have this kind of architecture look to it. I mean, it's pretty close to a 50 kind of style look, but we have to kind of like make it look like that to begin with. But this is what caught my eye. Where is that picture at? They had a record player. Here it is right there. They had a record player sitting on here. I'm thinking, does this come with the record player? And it's like, no, it doesn't come with the record player, but it will fit a record player. So I'm thinking, like, let's get an old-fashioned record player, install it in, because we got to cut all this and then basically drop the record player in and then put some kind of fancy crown molding around it. And it has to be to come out. Everything has to be made so we can remove it in and out. Now, the name up there is a name that I've found quite interesting. Usually I have to have a name for any theme, like any characters I have in there. So I don't want to have my own character in there. Oh, by the way, you can print out anything I want. So he said if I have special characters and stuff, something I want off the top of my head, some kind of new action figure, he can actually print it and paint it for me. So I like the name. I thought about it last night. Daniel McAfee. I like that name. It's funny I chose McAfee because I actually knew a guy called McAfee a long time ago. I'm not going to say his first name, but I knew this guy a long time ago. The guy actually, when I got in trouble, that's how I met this guy. He's a very nice guy at the end of the day. Also, got to looking at trying to figure out, I need a background story because everything I design has a background story on where the person came from. So I was thinking a fantastic backtown story, and I need something like a small town. And it can't be something really big. Like if you look at the movie, if you ever watched it, the movie or the series Fallout, it's not in a big city area. They're actually way out on the outskirts because when that mushroom cloud goes up, they can literally see it from the city, but they're still within that suburban area. So I want something a little bit more country. So I have friends over in Idaho. So they were telling me about an area called Flushing. I got that right. Flushing, Idaho. Population of 803 people. That's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. 803 people population. So that would be a perfect area right there to start the background story for this. Any piece I design, anything, has a background story behind it. Because when you design a computer that looks way beyond the normal computer, there's always a theme and a story of why you went with this, what you were thinking of, stuff like that. And I kind of like that name. I like that Daniel McAfee, Ohio. I like that. It has a nice ring to it. It's perfect. So that's what I'm going to be using when I do my setup right here. Told you, I think into this stuff, man. I think really into this stuff. We even have a picture. I got a picture that I think that this guy, what he might look like. So yeah, we're going to design a nice little action figure. I sent over the information to my buddy, and he's actually designing one for me. It's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, here we go. I have friends over in Idaho. As a matter of fact, one of the kids we're in there locked up with, he had a perfect round head. I mean, he had a perfect round head, and his nickname was Potato Head. He was literally from Idaho. That's where he was from. That's how he got the nickname Potato Head. Everybody had nicknames in there, but his nickname was literally Potato Head because when we were all in there talking, he had his little accent and everything. He was a cool dude at the end of the day. I forgot about that. I almost forgot about that dude. And he had a perfect round head. My buddy was like, you got a perfect round head. Like, it's just perfect. And the guy was like, where are you from? He was like, Idaho. We said, I'm going to call you Potato. And it stuck with him ever since. Well, anything bad, he liked the name. Everybody had nicknames in there. If you didn't get a nickname in there, it just probably didn't like you. But everybody got nicknames in there. Let me see. The guy, McAfee, his nickname was Madball because he had extremely bad temper and very bad temper. They called him Madball. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on for a minute. I had this location. Here we go. Flushing. I think it's Flushing, Idaho. Population in 2024 is around 803. Wow, 803. I like to look up areas. I might pop down here and pay a visit down to this area. And contact my crew, because I never go alone, and bring my people down and check this area out. So it's a very interesting area. Most likely I'll be going to like the restaurants and stuff like that, checking all out, see how what that's like. I got some time coming up this summer. I might take a trip down there and see what's going on. So let me see. And then on top of that, it has basically the demographics on it. Basically I really don't care about the race down there, but it just tell you like how much of this, that, and the other. Yeah, that's interesting. Native American, 0%. Wow. So yeah, I'm gonna pop down there. I got friends down there anyway. I got people down there. So I'm gonna pop down there and I'm gonna go check out that place. Now I knew they were in Idaho. I didn't know this area actually existed down there, but I know I got some people close to this. So we gotta go down there and check that place out. But anyway, it's going to be fantastic. This whole entire design we're gonna do for this Fallout PC. Because again, as I said before, when I saw the specs on the PS5, I got a chance to play it. My sister's boyfriend has it. It's nice. It is. It's nice. I'm not putting anybody down. It's a nice system and all. It ain't for me. It's not for me. If I'm going, at the end of the day, if you're talking about next gen, I need more power than that. I need more power. And people say, what you're coming up to, I build PCs. So, I have options. Other people build computers, they have options. They don't buy jack. And I don't like to buy anything. If I can build it from scratch, I'd rather do it that way. And I figure since I'm not going to be buying a console for a very long time, I have to go all out maximum. I already max my machines out anyway, because the one thing I can't stand, especially if you basically do a submersive PC in vegetable oil, you don't exactly want to be pulling that thing up out or dipping your hands in that oil every time you want to change something or upgrade anything. So you want to go through that nonsense. So yeah, I'm gonna max this baby out. I'm decided what I'm gonna get for my motherboard yet, but I do know I need a micro ATX. That because I don't want this big motherboard staring me in the face. I want something small so I can put more artwork in it. And I'm definitely doing all liquid cooling system. Definitely. Entire system is going to be liquid cooled, which means I'm going to be liquid cooling the RAM, hard drive, which is probably not needed, but I'm going to do it anyway, CPU, GPU, and I'm going to do, well, GPU would be that. This is basically integrated video, then it'd be a separate chip, then you'd be sharing memory off your basically RAM. That's what you call when they have them older PCs. Oh my goodness, I remember doing that stuff at the end of the day. We had the ATT motherboard or the 270 sockets, and they had shared memory from the GPU to the RAM. So if you upgraded your RAM, which the highest you could go is pretty much 512. That's my mice is way back. 512. At that particular time, you're doing 512. That means you got IDE cables in there. You got no SATA drive, no SATA cables in there. It's all IDE in there. But anyway, what people would do is you wouldn't have any PCI ports, and PCI ports were gold because with PCI ports you can put in SATA drives and run SATA hard drives and run the SATA equipment. You could run all different types of your say not the modems, the giga modems, which is 10. I think it's 10, 100, 1000, like the giga modems and all that. So you can run all that stuff in there. You can actually add in better optical drives at the time because the optical drives, the old ones run with the IDE, and you can run the SATAs instead, which actually would be a much more advanced piece of hardware you can put in there. And on top of that, you can actually separate your shared memory away from your GPU or CPU, or sorry, the CPU, the GPU. Because if you have like integrated video means you're sharing from your actually RAM, and you don't want to do that at the end of the day. I mean, you get really poor graphics and all that stuff. One way you know something's got to suffer. So what people would do is they would basically they had one PCI slot in there. They would get an adapter that would have 4 of them on there, and they would basically put a PCI graphic card on there. And this would allow you to be able to have independent dedicated video just for your video card. Yeah, I've been around that. I was back even farther than that. When you talk about ATT boards, and you talk to anybody, like, hey, you remember the ATTs? And if you don't know, then you don't know. An ATT board was huge. You're talking about it had a separate, the motherboard was huge enough, but literally it had a separate board that literally was almost the size of it was probably a little larger than the motherboards you had today that was separate for the PCIs. It was huge. But anyway, that's back in the past. That's crazy stuff back in the day. But now we're doing more stuff. And my graphic cards, I'm getting dual 590s. Might as well. I don't plan to go back in the case at all. And if I build this thing, I want to make sure it's future proof. Of course, we know what's going to happen. It always happens. Probably a couple years down the lane, NVIDIA pop up with this freaking massive card, like the 6090. You're like, oh crap, we got to go buy that. 6090s, won't get to 190s. And you have a graphic card where you can't even put into your computer. It's like independently just sticks like a refrigerator, like we saw it on the side, and you plug it in and you just UPS port it into your computer. That'd be sick though. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be building my machine because again, I would have went out and bought a PS5, but like I said, specifications, we're not doing that. I mean, come on, you're under a gig. How? That's the part that baffles me. And even when I have people sit there and say, well, you can go out and buy, just pay the money for the system. Why are you going out and buying more hard drive space? That literally should have came with 4 gigs from the door. If they knew the system was going to eat that up to begin with, that much out of it, out of a gig, it was going to eat that much. And then consider the games you're going to be downloading. Mind you, at a terabyte, this is the PS4. 27 games would deplete that hard drive. And the games you download for the PS5 are much larger than the PS4. You know what GTA is going to be? I saw the download for freaking Call of Duty, 250? Are you kidding me? I remember one freaking, what was that game? Oh my goodness, what was the game? Titanfall was like 40, 50 in that range. You remember downloading GTA for the Xbox 360? Remember how long that crap took to load in? Like you'd leave, you come back, it'd still be loading, go outside, go play some ball, come back, it'd still be loading. Woo. I'd be surprised to see how big that thing is going to take. A lot of people are going to have to go out and either delete some games off your system and make some room, or you're just going to have to go out and just spend the money for 4 terabytes of hard drive space. Meanwhile, my system is going to have 64 gigs sitting on top of it. 16 gigs per drive. That's what I'm putting. I'm putting 4 of them on my system. I know it's unnecessary, but why not? I'll never use that much to begin with, ever. Like never. Like what the freak would I be downloading that would require that much? But again, I have to understand. See, here's the thing. In the console world, and not putting anybody down a console, I love console to death, and I will always love console. The only way you have a different console than anybody else, unless you modded the daylight out of that thing, unless you did something to it completely different that didn't come with those factory parts that came along with it. Now, in the PC world, which you should notice already, it's different for those people like us, because what we can do is we can basically change our machines at will. So, say if we got a machine, somebody bought a machine and it came bare bone. Bare bone, it came with basically just a motherboard, power supply. Sometimes you just get that. It could be a graphic card and a power supply. Sometimes they give you something like that. Or you just get bare bone and nothing in the case whatsoever, so you can build it all from scratch. But either way, whatever they get at the end of the day, they have the option to take apart that machine and rebuild it. There you go. Or if they don't like their case, you can change their case. Like I'm looking at my sister's boyfriend's PS5. I can upgrade his machine. And I told him, I said, yeah, I can take your machine apart. I can hook it up into, what's it, 12? What's that case called? 21? It's a Thermaltake case. It's actually perfect for that system too. I think it's a Thermaltake micro. Yeah, this is a micro. Here, it's right here. Got it right here. That's it right there. Yeah, I was gonna pop his PS5 in one of these cases right here. Tons of breathing room in here, and I was gonna hook a liquid cooling system on it, which would be quite perfect because the PS5 does have the ports for liquid cooling. Motherboard for the PS5. So yeah, it does have the ports for liquid cooling. It has that one a little closer. Because when I first looked at it, I was going to put it in liquid cooling. But I was looking for those 4 ports. The 360s didn't have them. The 360s only had 3 ports. Look at that, people modding them out. Let me take that freaking CPU off. Oh, the fan they put on that thing was ugh. And the case is horrible. I hate the case. I'm sorry. Now, like I said, that's my personal opinion. He loves the case. I hate that case. I hate it so much. I really do hate that case. It's like somebody took a marshmallow and set it on top of a radiator. It does. And I hate the case. That's why I would pretty much, I might get one and just mod it out. So let me see. Get a nice shot. Here we go. Get a nice shot. This right here. Here we go. This is why you can put liquid cooling on your PS5. You see your port right there at the top? You got 4 ports. You got one right here, one right there, and one there, and one there. And those ports will allow you to be able to attach a liquid cooling system to that. Because the liquid cooling system, once you actually, well, you have to take this off because it requires some work. So you're going to have to remove this, and then you're going to have to get some alcohol. You're going to have to clean all this down, clean it down, and get some thermal paste. Get high-grade thermal paste. So get some high-grade thermal paste, and then you basically don't want to put too much on it. You just want to put it on lightly. Take a credit card, or no, take a piece of cardboard and smooth it over. And then once you smooth it over, then you put your copper block right on top of that. You lock it in the bottom, and that's it. You just got to run your tubes and all that stuff. Now, it depends on if you get a system, basically, which is the easier ones, which are basic liquid cooling. It's just basically copper block, 2 tubes, and it just transfers to your radiator system with your dual fans. But if you're doing an advanced version, you're going to have a reservoir. which means you're going to have an area which is going to hold your cooling solution. That's what it's going to have. So your reservoir system, pumping system, and this will allow you to be able to daisy chain your pipes everywhere you need to go. On top of that, there's a little flow system that they have that you can connect between your pipes to make sure that the liquid is actually flowing through nicely through the pipes. And then you're going to have to get some kind of solution that you can put inside of it to keep any buildup from building up inside of those pipes inside, or any causing any kind of corrosion. Advanced liquid cooling systems for PCs. Oh, they make it so easy. Look at this. This is so easy. They map it all out. It's so easy. Here we go. Basic hookup. Oh, gotta get a charge for this. Never ever charged for this phone, I swear. Well, if you let me, I might do one. I might just pick one up and just mess around with it and show him how it's done, and then he might want his done. But at the end of the day, this is the problem that I have. The problem that I have is it's still going to be the same as everybody else's. That's what the problem for me is. It's just going to be the same as everybody else's. You know. Oh, get in there. That's just adapter in here. Use this to push through. Why is it closed back here? In there. Like, what am I fighting with? I gotta get an extender for this. Because I don't know what it is about this particular USB that doesn't definitely fight me every single time. Alright, so are we going to left or right or left? What are we doing here? Sheesh. Alright, look at this. I swear. I did this video about how you plug things up in the back, and it feels like something's like moving your controller, or moving your USB or your power cord around, like a hand's coming out doing it. It literally feels that way. But anyway, this right here is easy right here. There's your reservoir system right here. Those of you know what I'm talking about, you're good. But anyway, those you don't, there's your reservoir. That's your reservoir, pumping station right there. That is for the graphic card. There's your CPU. There's your fan system right here, and that's your radiator at the top. Now you could daisy chain this, which means you could basically chain this to something, blah, 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 but it's all going to lead back to the copper block. And where you, no matter where you jump it to, it's all going to lead back to the copper block. So you could bounce it from here, you could bounce it to your RAM, you could bounce it to your hard drive. Either way, it's going to land right back on top of your CPU. That's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to put together. But you can literally install this into your PS5 because of those ports are there. Liquid cooling system for the PS5. People have already done it. Wow, look at this right here. What the freak is this? That's the pumping system right there. Oh, I gotta look into this. I'm gonna buy this today. That looks freaking insane. See right here? People are already doing it. They're pulling their systems out and they're putting them in liquid cooling systems. Right here. A few people have done it. You can do it. It's very easy to do. As a matter of fact, it even has enough holes in the board to attach it to a like a motherboard output that you would have on your basic PC. You can literally attach it to that. So people are having overheating problems. I'll zoom it up so you can see a little better. It's going to be bouncing your stand around. See right there? That's a PS5 motherboard. It will literally attach, and it's pretty much like the size of a micro ATX or ATX, but it'll fit right in the case with no problem. As you see right there, see the reservoir system right here? See how it bounces right over here. Bump, 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 bump. Has a pumping station that goes into your radiator system right here. The fans keep the radiator nice and cool. That keeps the fluid nice and cool. There's your reservoir. And then that's going to bounce into here. And that's going to come out here and bounce right into your CPU. There are 4 screws in here. Da-da, da-da, da-da. It's very easy to do. People get scared because they're afraid you're going to void the warranty. How is you going to find out how things work if you don't take things apart? It's not that hard to do. It really isn't. A couple of minutes, you'll have it done in no time at all. Just the one thing you just have to remember is that when you pull that fan off, when you actually take the fan and the off your because there's going to be a little block there to keep it cool on top of the fan. Your fan's going to have a heat sink on it. So when you remove it, you're going to basically remove the thermal paste. It's going to separate. So if you take that copper block and you stick it back on top of it, you're going to burn your chip out. You have to wipe all that clean. Sometimes they have a solution to clean down the chip. Some people use a little rubbing alcohol, but you can take a Q-tip and clean it all down nicely. And then what you want to do is take your thermal paste and basically reapply it. And then you put your copper block on top of it. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's that easy. And you can run, once you got it inside a case like this, you have 10 times more breathing room, because what they're doing right now with these console systems, they're putting them in these thin little combined cases, but you want to put computer parts in there. You got an RTX 3060. That thing's still going to generate some heat at the end of the day. I don't care what kind of fans you're throwing, they're going to generate heat. And that's why computer cases are so huge, because they're used to basically circulating air. You can put an intake and outtake fan in there so you can actually draw all the heat out and push it out through the back. But they, that's why your systems are burning out and having all kinds of malfunctions and slowing down and all that problem, because your system's overheating. So if they imagine if they put a 5090 in there, good gracious, and stuck it in a case, your system would burn up. It would definitely burn up. This is what people are doing. This will basically prolong the life of your console system. And then the cool thing about it is, if you're going to put in 4 terabytes of hard drive space on here, we're going to put the hard drive space in just an external drive and stick it out inside. You can put your external hard drives inside. Actually, external hard drives inside. Load them all up in there. Hook it up and you're done. Now, if it was me, I wouldn't do the one with the disc. What's the point of buying the disc to begin with? The disc console is just, it's no point. You got stores right now that are basically removing digital content, or actually not digital content, but it would be digital content, more like for the downloadable content. They're getting rid of it because, again, everything's going to be all digital. Everything's all download. If you haven't perceived the future already by knowing that when you go into your PS, there's a store in there and you can just download all your stuff. And if you notice, at one point, there used to be more physical discs than actual downloadable content. So you still had to go to GameStop to pick up certain things that you wanted because you couldn't find it in the vast library that was on your console system. It isn't like that anymore. If you go to your console system, you could find stuff in there that you can't even find in the stores. The only thing about it is you're not trading jack in. I guess you get refunds for whatever you buy. I don't know if it's a refund digital thing. I don't know. Steam has a refund thing, but I don't even bother with it. If I buy it, I buy it, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're really not. And you think about it, and if you do take a game back, you're not getting jack for it anyway. So, yeah. Somebody did a good job with that one right there. They did a really good job with that. But that's the reservoir system they put in. They want $270 for the board. Specifications on a PS5 motherboard. Someone wants $544. Might as well buy the system. You're going to pay that much money for it. Let me see. Specifications. See what this map looks like on that thing. Where is the RAM? That's your heat sink system right there. Now, if I'm going to be doing one of these by liquid cooling system, don't even bother. Like I said, don't buy the optical. Don't even bother buying it. It's just more parts for you to take apart. Just get one that just downloads only, because you're really not going to use that thing at all. I think since I've had my PS4, I think I got 2 games for it. Everything else is downloadable. Oh, that's where it's at. Well, that's going to suck. Hey, you want to upgrade that? You hope you're not a solder. That's how you're going to get it out of there. And you better hope it works. Well, that's a nightmare right there. Well, no. If you know what you're doing, you're good on that. You could pretty much, if you repair motherboards, you can take that out and upgrade your RAM. But for a PC, it's just pull it out and snap it back in. That's what it is for us. All right, I got to get down. I got to figure out all the stuff I need to buy, because I need to buy a whole bunch of stuff. And then I got to basically age everything that comes over here, so it has a kind of retro design. And I just sent over to my buddy the picture. I got an idea what I want this guy to look like for my case. And he's a survivor of the apocalypse. So I named him Daniel McAfee. That's his name. I have a nice little storyline behind this one too. This is what you get. It's a Core V12 Thermaltake. This will fit perfectly for your PS5. It won't be too big. It won't be too small. And you can put a 590 in here easy. I started 5090 in here. 5090 can fit in this case. You can run anything through it. The 59s are huge. On top of that, I was looking at something called, let me see, vintage brown UV lights. We might have to change these too. We might have to alter these. So we have to make our own. That's not really hard to do. It's a trick. Let me see, but I'd rather prefer to have them. That would be nice, because you can't find brown lights. I need that dim kind of brown lighting. That the one they had in that case was absolutely gorgeous. I gave it like a really dark finish look to it. Let me see, let's... Oh, they have them. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness, yeah, we're gonna go to town in here. Yes, sirree. Amazon has these. Well, got to get a soldering gun. That's where we're going to be at next. Because, yeah, we got to build this. Definitely need a soldering gun. All right, pick up a soldering gun, some parts and stuff. Because we're going to have to solder this in. All right, that's not hard to do. Anybody grow up in the generation of basically soldering everything instead of snapping everything together like freaking Legos? Because that's the era I grew up in. So, yeah. I remember I went to school for this. We didn't go to school for it. We learned it basically in shop class. Look at this, man. I'm definitely going to hook some of these up, man. Definitely. Look at the EL. Can we get the EL? But this will be endless power right here. We do it this way. That's a negative and that's a positive. That's pretty easy to do. So we can run it through. Actually, to tell you the truth, I can actually attach this to a Molex adapter. Let me see something for a minute. Molex adapter. So Molex adapter. So we're going to be using 2 prongs, a negative and positive on the Molex. We don't need the 4. So we just need the red and the black. That's all we need to do that. This will allow me to run that through my PC power supply. I could run it that way. But wait, is that it's not going to be running through AC? Well, I know the Molex adapter basically has a convert on it to convert DC to AC or AC to DC, one or the other. But anyway, this would work perfectly right here because I could run it through my PC with no problem. This is what we need. This has we don't need this. We don't care. We're cutting this off. We don't need that. We need this part right here. So what we need is we need the negative and positive. All the rest of that can be stripped out. We don't need it. And what that's going to allow me to do is solder this to the other component here, negative, negative and positive, and we can actually run this right through a PC with no problem. Because you have to learn to do all your own wiring. Yeah, you'll learn to do all your own wiring. Because chances are, whatever you're looking for, especially like I said, when you build, whatever you're looking for, there's probably a good chance that you won't find it. So you have to literally build it yourself. Like when I put together that entire PC setup over there, couldn't find any of the parts or anything. We had to build all that. One of the PCs, we literally needed enough power to run the graphic cards, run the massive amount of the hard drives, and then the CPU, all that stuff needed freaking massive. And the hard drives, not the hard drives, the power supplies weren't going to do it. So what we did was, before they came out with a ATX-Y adapter, which will allow you to run 2 power supplies into one motherboard, you had to build that. So you got 2 ATXs and got the slicing and soldering. So that way you can run 2 power supplies into one motherboard. And that would give you enough power to run everything. And then you're just sitting there. If you don't figure that out, then you're trying to figure out exactly how much power is the graphic card going to use, how much is the CPU going to draw. All this stuff can conflict, and then next you know, you get all kinds of problems where your system is getting sluggish, it's slowing down. Yeah, I maxed everything out. When it comes to the motherboard and the graphic card, I make sure they're married. They know each other. Because then you got problems with driver conflict issues that pop up in there too. On top of that, you could have a motherboard that may not want to operate correctly with the the graphic card or the hard drive. A lot of stuff could go wrong in there. So, yeah, make sure your motherboard and your graphic cards are basically married. So if you notice that when I was putting the system together, they were both from the same brand. Because I had an issue with the and one of the PCs I built, I just popped up. I had a problem with the a driver conflict issue. It was a freaking headache. Got it fixed, but I'm not doing that crap ever again. You spent all this money and you're going through that nonsense. Oh, or the horrible was it Vista? Was it Vista? Which one was that really bad system? It was Vista. Vista was the one that had driver conflict issues. Like keyboard stopped working, all kinds of stuff stopped working because for some reason Vista was not friendly with drivers. And all kinds of, I think it was Vista. Another one, Windows 98. Ugh. Oh, I hated Windows 98. The Windows Millennium, that was trash. Oh, that was trash. That was trash. I used to do house calls and this is where I made money in the hood, because a lot of people had computers out there and they didn't know how to get them fixed. And once you repair a couple of machines, you get advertising word of mouth. So people come down to the house and, they'd say, hey, I got this PC or my girlfriend or blah, blah, blah. And they drop off the machines and give me the money. I made a ton of money putting XP back into the system when Vista screwed everything up, because everybody was coming to me to basically wipe the hard drive, format the hard drive, and put a new operating system on there. And my buddy, that June, I told you, was a master programmer. He rewrote the operating system XP. He wrote the entire operating system. I ain't gonna talk about that, blah, forget it. Anyway, so long story short, yeah, I made a lot of money off that. People were bringing stuff over to us, and yeah, I was going in there and just basically I had my whole place set up to basically just download and the operating system to multiple computers. I contact them and call them and say, hey, look, your machine's done. That's when I realized at that particular point that I wanted to be my own boss. Because it was before all this. It was way before the screen paints and stuff. It was way before that. That's when I wanted to be. Because I used to work those 9 to 5s. And then when I was doing the PC build and the PC repair, man, that was such easy money. It's not even funny. People are really intimidated by those machines. You see all those parts and stuff. They don't want to take them apart. And I try to help them out. Like, look, it's an optical drive. It's really not even hard to change this. Just go and try to show them how to basically take out the screws and pull out the drive and load the drivers onto it and plug everything up. But they didn't want to do it. They just didn't want to do it themselves. And trying to save them some money, they didn't want to do it. They'd rather have me go in there and charge them $80 to do this job. And that's when I realized, like, gee whiz, if that's the case, they'll pay me to do anything on the machine. So I had something where I had the compressors, and we take apart your power supply and clean out your computer, get paid for that. Yeah, I had a couple of PCs that I had the peekaboo windows and all that stuff. And my buddy worked at City Hall, and he dropped off all these computers. Like, yo, you want some machines? Like, yeah, what you got? He had the Pentium 4 with the Hyperthreads. Remember they came out by Dell? Oh my goodness, I had 23 of them suckers sitting downstairs. And I'm like, yo, we're going to hook these up. Went over to Tiger Direct, used my business wholesale license, started buying them hard drives, everything we needed to upgrade those systems. And my buddy had one of those cutting, I forget what it was some kind of machine for cutting metal and stuff. And he would cut the metal in the side of the doors. We put the plexiglass in, drop screws in, and make a peekaboo window. Or cut a nice little circle hole in and put like 120 millimeter fan or 140 millimeter fan with the lights and everything. And you drop in a couple of lights, a few EL wires and stuff like that, and people go nuts. They love it. They're making a bundle, a freaking bundle. Yep. And then when I left the hood, I left my neighborhood, I left all my contacts behind. So I wasn't really making that money anymore because, again, I moved, and I was the kind of person that once I left, I don't like to go backwards. So kind of cut off all my ties and moved on to the next level. And when I moved over there on Cambia Street, that's when I got it. I was still working on computers and stuff over there, but not on that level. But that's when I started developing screen paint. That's where it all started from, right there in that house. That's where it all started from. Because I went down to a friend's house. I just got finished building one of my PCs. Just got finished building one. Had it on my YouTube channel. My buddy was checking it out, and I had these two Sony 42s. And I was like, yo, man, yo, PC Master Race, just blah, 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 my system, blah, blah, blah. My buddy had an Xbox 360 at a console playing Gears of War. He said, you gotta come down to the house, man. I got something, man. You're gonna love it, man. I'm a tech junkie. I got down there. I saw the bay window. They were playing Gears of War, and this big freaking screen. I was like, what the freak is that? Got in there. It was a projector set up. I was like, ooh, man. Last time I seen a projector, they were CRTs. They were the CRTs, yeah. They had the BMC cables and BGAs and all that stuff. I looked in the back of this thing. It had all the peripherals that my freaking motherboards had. It had all the HDMI and everything back there. I was like, how much? Like, where'd you get it from? Like, all these questions, because this thing was small, wasn't that huge. Where do you get it from? Where are you buying from? Where'd you get this from? And he told me everything about it. And when I got home, looking at my little tiny 42s compared to 120 inch, I couldn't care less about the graphics at the end of the day. I just was memorized by that giant screen I saw. I was like, man, I want this, man. So I go back and talk to him. I didn't know much about projectors at all, or screens, or none of that stuff, because I didn't deal in that world. I was a monitor guy. Everything was all monitors for me. I wouldn't go near a projector. I wouldn't waste my time on it. So I go back and talk to him. He's teaching me all this stuff. He's teaching me about the res count and all that stuff, the lumen count, everything, the pixel count and all this stuff. He's teaching me all this stuff. I'm learning from him. So I'm trying to figure out what projector to buy. So he said, just get a 600 by 800 720p. So my first projector was a BenQ MS500. Never forget it. Went and sold my two TVs because I depleted my freaking funds because I built this monster PC. So my money was kind of light. So I basically sold my two monitors, and I went out and I ordered it from Tiger Direct. That's where I got it from. So I get it in, I hook it up. I'm expecting it. I took the whole wall and basically painted it all white. That's what I did. I painted the whole wall white. I'm thinking I'm gonna get this giant screen. No. I got a 80-inch screen. Out of that whole entire wall, I got an 80-inch screen. Because then I had to realize, I found out for myself, that the projector is only going to get as big as far as you can push it back. Because mine at the time, I didn't know anything about short throws or ultra short throws. I just knew about long throws. That's all I knew. So I go back and tell my friend, I was like, man, the screen ain't as big as I thought it was going to be. It's not as big as yours, because his was 120 inch and mine's like only 80 inches. What happened? He said, well, you need the room to pull back. The farther you pull back the projector, the bigger it is. Mine was a 720p model. Well, do they make a projector for a large room? Like if you had a small room, can you get a big screen? So yeah, they're called ultra short throws, and they're called short throws, but they're extremely expensive. They're very expensive. Like what you pay now for the 4K is what they would have cost. So I was like, okay, can't afford one of them. So I'm happy with the projector. I'll take the 80-inch. I mean, it's bigger than the 42s. So after that, trying to play my games on a white wall, yeah, coming off a freaking of monitors, yeah, it didn't take well. I was very upset. I was like, man, the colors are washed out, freaking no contrast. It's turn the lights on. I got to be in the dark all the time. I ain't really liking this too much. So it was like, well, you know, you got to. Some people have a screen you can buy, and I saw the screens that were expensive. I was like, I can't afford that. He said, but they do make this free paint online. It's a YouTube paint. That's how this first started. It didn't start from these guys. It didn't start that. The YouTube paint been out so long. It was there before I started, and I was there before them. So mixed it up. It was basically the YouTube paint was basically pearlescent. It was pearlescent. It was that silver pearlescent. It was a gray base like Bear before Bear Silver Screen came up. It was Bear 1050, Bear 1050, and it was black paint. So I'm asking questions like, so what's the silver for it? The silver makes it pops a little better. He's telling me that this guy used to make this stuff. I said, okay. So what do we use the 1050? Well, we just can't put it all with silver. He said, nah, because then you're gonna get hot spotting. You're gonna be dealing with my projector was DOP. You're gonna deal with a rainbow effect. You don't want that crap at the end of the day. I experienced rainbow effect. It's nasty. But anyway, so you don't want to go with all silver. You need something to tone it down, but you still need it to pop a little bit. So he said that's why you put the pearlescent into it. I said, okay. He said, and you get the Bear 1050. Bear 1050 is good because it's a good base coat. It's a one coat, you know what I mean? It's good for base if you want to cover anything. You have to do multiple coats. You know, the bottom line, it's a good base to start off with. I said, so, and what's the black for? He said, well, the black is the tone. That's how you tone it on how dark you want it. He said, for me, I would put only 2 tablespoons in. That's how I know your stuff. Because I was making that stuff for the digital and crystal screen paint long before Jamie was ever heard of on YouTube. Yeah. That's how all of it was made. Every drop of it was made that way. You go to forum sites, everybody was in there with gray paint, as far as the eye can see. And everybody had their own different recipes and how they were making them. And Goose Screen was leading the charge of it all, because everybody wanted to be like Goose Screen. So I'm watching all these demonstrations. I'm doing all this research, trying to figure out what am I getting myself into. And I'm watching Goose Screen's demonstrations. I'm watching a guy called Mississippi Man on ABS forums. He was an admin over there. I'm watching his demonstrations. I'm watching Sonic Chill. I'm watching all these guys back and forth. I'm like, trying to get an idea, because those guys were here before me. I think Sonic Chill was here before me. And another guy called Dark Energy Abyss. He was another person. He made a film like Material Screen. He was here way before me. So I'm watching these guys and learning from them. So I'm like, okay, I see. So with all the demonstrations I saw, everybody wanted to be like Goose Screen. Goose Screen had this multi-coat application. You had to put a perfect amount on the roller, and then you had to do this up and down kind of robot formation. And one of my nephews later on, he told me he had a Goose Screen. He bought a Goose Screen. And he said, yeah, man, it's something else to put in, but it's really nice. I love it. So he had one. He had an actual Goose Screen. I got a chance to go over and see it. I was like, wow, this is freaking crazy. So this is paint? Paint is actual paint? Because mind you, I'm from monitors. I come from the era of the CRTs, monitors, flat screen monitors. So I could never imagine in a million years that a paint on a wall is going to compete with a monitor. Like, how would that even happen? Yeah. When he turned on that projector on his end, and I saw that gray and all that pole, I was like, oh, shoot, this is nice. But mind you, at the time, I still didn't see that 100% contrast. I didn't read 100% contrast until I started dabbling with this technology. So I saw Diamond's technology, then I saw darker contrast levels. That's what made me switch over. But anyway, as I get ready, my buddy's going to be dropping me off. We're going to Home Depot to pick up the supplies I need, because it's supposed to be pearlescent, it's Bear 1050, and it's black paint. So I pick up a sampler of black paint because I don't need a lot of it. I picked up a quart of Bear 1050 because I wanted to just be painting like a small screen. I'm not selling this stuff because I wasn't planning. I'm not in that field. And I went and made the product, but I did mine a little different. So I would no. I went in there to buy the product. I remember to buy the product, and I told the guy what I wanted, and the guy came back and said that one of the elements they don't make anymore. I think it was something. It was a version of the pearlescent that they made for this YouTube paint. Now they make other versions of pearlescent, but at the time with that particular brand, they stopped making that particular one. And I'm thinking, how am I going to make this? Now I sold my TVs. I don't have them anymore. I can't go back to that freaking white wall. And I prayed on it, and the Lord directed me what to go buy. I went out and I bought Bear 1050. I bought the black, but for the silver, I bought the Martha Stewart collection, the silver. Martha Stewart Metallica paints. Now these right here are M&M. These are a little bit more expensive, But Martha Stewart used to have her own collection of Metallica paints. Let me see. Here we go, right there. Martha Livings. So it's Martha Livings. This is what it would look like right here. These are the Martha Livings right here. This is what I was buying right there to put into my product. So I would put in about 4 tablespoons, and then it got to the point as we started making it more and more and more, I would put in like the whole entire container. So in a quart, I put this whole container in 1 quart, and then I would make or selling it by, before we started selling it by the quart. So I paint this stuff up, I put it in, add it to the wall. First thing I saw was Futurama, because I had it on my I had it on an account for my PC. And I turn it on and the image pops up. Boom! It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Now, mind you, I was skeptical. I was skeptical about this mixture that I got from the Lord. You know, my faith wasn't really that strong. And I'm thinking at the end of the day, like, man, if this fails, man, I am going to be, like, I want to really save up some serious money to get that Grey Wolf. And that Grey Wolf was $3,000. I really have to buy this thing because I went all in on this whole projector thing. And I spent all this money for this PC. I'm not about to quit now, so I got to follow through. I really don't want to spend no $3,000 for no screen. So anyway, got everything there. Lord directed me what to buy, how to put it all together. And then when I got in there, I mixed everything up. I painted it to the wall. And when the projector came on, I saw everything. It just boom, blew up. And my buddy came in from a party. He was a party boy at the time. He not a party boy no more. But when he came in the room, he was drunk. He was like, what the freak is this? He said, man, that looks good. He said, you know what? You should sell this. And here I am. That's how it started. So the first voice that I heard in my head when the Lord told me what to go buy, I've been hearing that ever since. Which is my technology's been advancing by then. And you can go back and check. My YouTube channel goes all the way back to the very beginning when we first started. You can actually watch all the demonstrations of our technology evolve from the different versions of gray screen paints that we made, from the darker mixes that we started making, from the ultra silver screens and invisible technology, and an advanced to black. And what triggered me to go to black, because I said before, I was stuck on that the gray screen was superior. You know, we had a contract overseas, and this guy came in and gave us all this money, and he was buying up the product, and they were doing all this stuff, and everybody was in love with it, and we're making a ton of money off of it. And I told you about how when I started off at $50 a quart when I first started off, and around 150. I wonder if I can find one of my old ads under Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. I'm gonna see if I can dig up one of my old ads on here. But I remember that. I remember I would go to the store, and by the time I got done buying all my supplies, that's why I said when you got people like the haters at the end of the day, you guys get all ticked off like, he don't know my I do know your finances, because I walked that line already. I know already from the door how much money you're making off 60. Actually, you're making less, because things are a lot more expensive now than what they were back then. But I know what you're making. I buy containers, supplies, all that stuff. That can easily eat up $150 easy. So I know from the door how much you're making. So you're not making anything. But the reason why you're going to continue to not make anything is because you can't prove your product's worth. Once you prove your product's worth, then you can start making something. But you can't do that. So the companies out there that make them all white screens all day long, that technology we have can knock out any one of those certifieds. It can do test demonstrations that your products can't do. And because of that, anyone who actually buys or does business with us, they're going to be able to upgrade all their white screens to high performance screens and get 10 times more money for them. Yeah, there you go. But in order to get those contracts, you're going to have tons of video testing. You're really going to have a lot to show that your product does this, because they won't sign with you. And you're going to have to go out there and do those demonstrations still on top of that. And they're going to buy from you. They're definitely going to buy from you. And they're going to test your stuff. So you can't lie on specifications. What point of it to lie on specifications for? They're going to find out. So I don't know why people do that. Lie on their specifications. Don't do that. They're going to find out. Be honest and be upfront. You can't be making up stuff like range gain nonsense and all that stuff. You can't be making that stuff up. Sooner or later, they're going to ask about it. What is this range gain stuff? You got to back all that up. If the product takes too long to apply the application, it's a bit of a headache, they're going to step away from it. Mind, they're going to be painting multiple screens with this. So the faster, the quicker results they can get off it, the better the product. That's what you're going to be going through. They're going to ask you all those questions. All the questions that I asked you about your product, and you have to curse me out and carry on. Well, good luck when they ask you the same questions, because they're going to ask you the same thing. Again, if what I said bothers you by what I just said, then guess what? You're in the wrong business. Let me see. Crystal Edge. Crystal Edge. No, digital one crystal screen. So yeah, when I started with the digital one, I was charging because I didn't want to. I didn't think my product was worth it. So I was charging like 50, I think, or $150, something like that, a gallon or something like that. And by the time I got back from buying expenses and had a buddy would take me down to the post office and all that, I was left with probably about maybe 20, $50. And I thought to myself, man, I made more than this when I did computers. I made far more than that when I did computers. So maybe this isn't for me. This is not for me at all because I'm not making this money the way I want to make this money. And my mom was like, "What's wrong?" I said, "Well, I'm kind of depressed because I make a good product. We get plenty of attention. We get people that want the product, but I feel like I'm just cheating myself because I'm not getting what my product is worth." So she was like, "You got to charge what your product is worth, or don't do it at all. Either you're going to basically know the value of your product." So I went in, I did a little test, and I started charging. I think it was $150 a quart and about $300 a gallon, and they were buying it up. They were still buying it up. You know why? Because you naysayers, and I'm going to say them real quick, you naysayers who do these demonstrations in these dark environments, they were doing that 10 years ago. Dark environments, poorly lit environments, because again, they didn't have any choice because there really was no ambient light rejection technology around anywhere, period. So a lot of the demonstrations were expected to be in these dark environments. In this era we live in now, everything is ambient light rejection. You got Elite has their own version of ambient light rejection, that ceiling light rejection technology. There's all kinds of different forms of technology. As long as you can back it up, it's real then. So things are different. People are expected now to be in fully lit environments. Projectors and screens are designed to do much more than that, than what you had 10 years ago. So if you're telling people at the end of the day that you don't have ambient light rejection technology, then guess what? Your stuff is outdated. That means you are around the era where we started with this stuff, and that would have been around 11 years ago. This is where you sit at. That's 11 years ago. So I charged a little more for my product, started making the money, have more money to pay for shipbacks and expenses and things I needed to run the company. And then as I went on, everybody else was doing demonstrations in these poorly dark environments. As I said, you guys doing these demonstrations in these dark environments, you're backwards. You're supposed to be in fully lit environments. And at the time, when I was coming up, you couldn't paint directly onto a black wall. The wall had to be primed first. Everything had to be primed. Everything had to be sanded down because everybody was following behind Goose Screen. They were doing what they were doing. They were priming the walls, sanding everything down. So you saw hours and hours of videos of people just priming walls down, sanding them down. It's constantly sanding to get the walls perfectly flat. We came out there and did the opposite. We just started painting over any surface, painting over this, painting over that, painting on cardboard, painting on material, all that stuff. We started that stuff first. And you guys come along like you act like you've done it. No, my videos are time stamped. They're 11 years back. Some are 12 years back. So we did a demonstration. We painted over a black wall and it blew up because before you weren't supposed to be to do that. All this is supposed to be sanded down and then primed, and then you apply the application. We can actually apply it right to the surface. And somebody overseas was watching us. As I told you before, people watch your YouTube channel. So if you're on YouTube channel and you're carrying on with them shenanigans where you're slandering people and carrying on and acting up and all that dumb stuff you're doing, at the end of the day, no one's going to touch you. This is why I told you about the whole court procedures, because they sit there and say, well, he does the same thing too. If I do the same thing like you, then how come you don't have a lawyer? How come you're not going to taking me to court? Because you don't have anything. I'm the one taking you to court. I'm the one that requested the black paint and all this stuff. I'm the one that does all the testing. That's why. There you go. So again, when you take people's faces and you do all that slander and all that weird stuff, doxing addresses and all that carrying on, cursing and carrying on, and videos and all that stuff, they don't want to touch you. So here I am painting the screen right here. This is one of the demonstrations I was doing to paint the surface in. Now, at this particular time, I'm thinking that the gray screen is all of it. And It is what it is. It's the best, right? Let me see. Here we go. A gallon was going for around $573. Yeah, and I was making it $573 for a gallon of that product, and they were buying it up. Consider the fact, gentlemen, that your product sell for 60 bucks. $60. I can taper off my technology now to a price point that's affordable for everybody. But when I first started off, my first beginning gray was costing that kind of money, and it was being sold. And your stuff sells for 60. You get what you pay for. So, with that being said, with that being said, I started getting what my product was worth. So one day I'm home and I get this call. This is people overseas. They're watching me the entire time. I didn't know that. They're watching me do everything opposite of everybody else. We're in fully lit environments when we're doing demonstrations. We're painting screens to different cardboards and surfaces, wherever you want. We're doing everything the opposite, and we draw attention. And they go, well, hey, look, my name is so-and-so, and so I can't tell you the guy's name. And he was like, I'm interested in your product. Now I'm thinking maybe, we had trolls, but not those trolls. I'm thinking it's them. It's the troll. We had some other trolls we were dealing with, but it wasn't them. Bam, that's me. So these are the people that contacted me. And they were like, hey, look, we saw your stuff. We've seen your demonstrations. Your product has potential. We're very interested in it. Is it possible that, we can meet up? And I was like, yeah. So where you guys are located at? They were overseas. And the guy's like, no, it's no problem. I do importing, exporting all the time, I'll come down there and check you guys out. So it was me, my buddy, and I had 3 other people that were with me that were part of my group. So the guy comes down. He meets up with all of us. Real tall dude, too. They're all tall. All of them were tall. I don't know, country, they were all freaking tall. So came down, cool dude, joked around, laughed a little bit, everything, had some fun. And he was like, okay, so we're going to come in. We're going to come back. Just want to make sure everything was legit. Like, you're legit. Everything's legit. I told you, they will come see you. These guys were overseas and they came to see us. He said, make sure you're legit. Want to make sure no scams and none of that stuff like that. Like, you're really the real thing. And we want to meet you face to face. So they met us face to face. And they got a chance to check out the products and everything. And they liked it. And the guy said, okay, we want to buy some of it. So I'm thinking like, okay, they're going to get 1 or 2 quarts. Now these guys came in and dropped like $1,800 worth of paint. I'm like, whoa! That was the first one they dropped in for, $1,800. So I'm like, geez, $1,800. It was a lot of paint. It was something between like, they wanted all in quarts. They didn't want no gallons. So I had to find a place where we could make this at, because that little rented room was not going to do it. So I basically rented out my buddy's garage for $600 so we could make the orders there, and they helped me out with the orders. And I paid each one of them like $1,000 for helping me out, because I had a lot. No, sorry, not $1,000. I paid them like about $300 or $400, because we had $1,800 on that order. So they got 400, they got 400, and it didn't take much to make the product at all, period. And I walked away with a good piece of change too. Also, we're able to, we thought the shipping cost was going to cost us, but the guy was like, no, we're going to come down and pick it up. And I said, we're going to pick it up, because I'm thinking like, well, how am I going to pay you guys? And at that, we're going to have enough. We got to buy the supplies and everything we're going to need to make all this. We got to buy the cans and everything. And I'm adding all this up. I said, man, we're going to probably walk over probably like $200 each maybe, because the shipping cost for shipping this is going to be crazy expensive. And the guy was like, oh, don't worry about that. They contacted us. Like, don't worry about that. We'll pay for the shipping cost. We're coming down to pick it up. I'm like, oh, shoot. So I saw how much money we had. So, yeah. Went out, took my friends out. We went out to eat and everything. I said, man, we're about to hit that plateau. We're about to hit that plateau. So this is right here. This is everything I backed up. These are the people that were involved in the Digital One. Now, this is one of the things that taught me in business that you have to know what you're dealing with. Never get caught up in the glamour of it all. Always keep it business, 100%, always. If you don't, these people know business. I'm just starting off. I don't know anything about the field of how business works. And these guys are professionals in that field. He had other companies besides this business that he had. He decided to just invest some of the money he had laying around to basically into me. And they were trying to take my company from me. So I didn't see all this. I didn't see any of this at all first. So later on, about a couple months go by, they get the product, they take it over there to their investors freaking fall in love with it. They love it. They like the product. They contact me and say, yeah, the people down here, they love it. They want more. We're going to come down again. We're going to schedule a meeting. We want a global contract. A global contract. That's what they wanted, a global contract. I'm thinking, like, how in the world are we going to process paint for a global contract? Like, how are we going to start with this? We don't even have the money to do this to begin with. And we're explaining to them, like, we don't got that kind of money to do this. No, no, don't worry about it. We'll front you everything that you need to get it up and going because we're working as one crew. If you're working, everything's going well for you, we're making money at the end of the day. So whatever you need, we got you. All right, that clears that. I just got to bring some people on board that I trust to work with me that's going to know what's in this stuff. So then after all that's done, these are some of the investors right here. What are the investors that were announcing this stuff and everything? As we're going through this, they come back down. So I contact family. I'm like, look, they're bringing down associates. I don't know what they could be bringing down. I don't know what they're about. There's one thing you're going to have that from basically living in. And if you're supposed to be street smarts anyway. So I had about 26 or 27 of my family members in that parking lot. And you wouldn't notice, and you would think they were like, it was a mall area. So you wouldn't notice that at all, period. What are we asking for? No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that right now. I don't need that. I can't stand when they ask for software right up out of nowhere. I'm good. I'll get back to that later. So anyway, I have my family out there just in case if anything went down because I got this formula now. And I don't know what may happen to me. So my family's down there. They're chilling. Everybody's down there, and I go to the subway on Broad and Girard, and I go sit down. My back's against the wall because everybody coming in. They come in. They bring in their lawyers, and they brought two representatives, and he brought him. Another partner came in. We all sat down. And they offered like, you want anything to eat? And I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want nothing to eat. I'm good. Because I wasn't even thinking about eating. I was just to business. And the guy was like, well, this is what we want. This is a draft of the contract. Contract was like that freaking thick. I was like, sheesh, because I can't stand reading through paperwork sometimes. And I was like, that's a lot of freaking paperwork to read through. So I was like, this is what we want. We're going to give you 37. They came with $3,700. Wrote it down on the check, $3,700. Here you go. He said, we need, the rest of this is yours, and this is how much we need. So what they asked for wasn't a lot, and we kept a lot of money. We had a lot of money to ourselves. So I came out after they left, and then I came out, and my people were walking over to me. And I said, so what happened? What happened? I said, I got the contract. We got a draft contract. So let's go out to eat. So I didn't have a bank account at the time. My sister's one I trusted most, and I gave her the check, and she deposited it into her account. It cleared, and then we went out and did some shopping and stuff like that. So now I'm going back to this little rented room because that's where it all started, from the little rented room. So as I'm in the little rented room, I'm thinking about how my life is about to change in a big way, but not realizing that it is going to change in a different way because the people that are interested in my product are planning to take it from me, but I didn't see it because I'm caught up in all of this. And they're sending me over pictures and investors and showrooms, and they're showing off the product in different areas that I'm not used to seeing. So I'm used to seeing myself in this little tiny Reddit room on that little wall. That's what I'm used to seeing. I'm not used to seeing myself someplace else where somebody else had it. So now it's blowing me away. I'm thinking that, these people got my back, but they don't the entire time. So as things start to go on, their page is updating all this new stuff, man. They've got freaking glasses coming out for this VR glasses, because we had the 3D projectors back in the day. And I'm thinking like, wow, you know what I mean? They're contacting me, but then the communications start to slow down. And I hear less and less from them. And then I start seeing this logo pop up. Digital One Crystal. Mine's Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. And they said, well, the reason why we call it Digital One Crystal is because we have to give it a kind of a European title. We got to jazz up the logo a little bit so it looks a little bit more acceptable, And I didn't see this, that they were changing my logo. They would change the name of the product. They took out the other two and put down Digital One Crystal. They did put down Screen Paint, but technically everything else was signed under Digital One Crystal. So my buddy June, being the tech that he is, did some digging around and found some stuff that we didn't want to know about. They were slowly converting the name over to them. We saw paperwork popping up that should not have been there at all, period. He was able to track it all down. And then he found all this was one account was, we had two accounts we were looking at for the website. One of the website was a dummy website. He said, this website's not real, it's a dummy account. So I'll find the real one in a couple of days. Sure enough, he found it. Yeah, it was what I thought it was. So that's why they were contacting me and telling me that, look, if we're going to push forward on this, we need you to shut your website down. Shut your website down or remove the entire marketplace, and we'll do all the sales, because if they keep going to your site, which is true, they go to your site to find out how cheap the product is and they don't want to buy it from us. See, this is where you learn when you do contracts, when they request that, they have to make sure within that contract that they have to pay you a certain amount of money every month to keep your lifestyle afloat. Didn't know about that at the time. But that's what you have to do sometimes when you're signing these contracts. Look, you want me to shut my site down, so that means my livelihood drops. I got to depend on you to process and get us orders. They could be not getting you orders at all. They could be making all the money and just skipping you altogether. That's what they could be doing. So I could have sat there and said, well, look, I need about $20,000 a month for what I need for my lifestyle. At the end of the day, I need 50, I need 100,000. I could have asked for anything. That's what I should have in the contract. But literally, we had that embedded in contracts now. If we go down that road and we decide to take these items off or so and so, you have to fund so and so and so. You have to have a consistency of orders. Also, too, it's something they could bring in, because Nike does this. Minimum orders, which means you have to make a certain amount of orders to maintain your contract. There's another one they have too. So that makes sure you always sure you get bread on your table. So if you want to keep this contract here, you got to make such and so every month in order to keep the contract. So Nike does it, and Timberland does it too. So they make sure they keep money coming into the company. So, that makes the person push faster to sell the inventory. So that way they can keep buying more inventory, because you don't want to stack up and have all this inventory you can't sell off. But anyway, as I started seeing these little flags pop up, I started confronting them now, because now I'm mad. I'm ticked off. I lost my temper, and I'm sending them over the stuff that my buddy's sending over. What the freak is this at the end of the day? You're changing my logo. You're freaking going in. You're doing this. You're doing that. You got little parties popping up that we don't know anything about. And last thing to hit the flag, hit the ceiling, is when June pulled up their accounts. And we saw how much money they were making, how much money we weren't making. And that's when it hit. And that's when I said, that's it. I'm going to take your stuff out. Well, it's my stuff at the end of the day. So when I sat there at that table, same speech. I always give it. Every meeting I go to. Why do you fight for the crumbs below when you have a full course meal over top of you? When we sat at that table, they laughed at me, because they thought at the end of the day, while they were sitting over there watching me on my YouTube channel, that was all that I had. That once they take that from me, I have nothing left. You don't know what you were dealing with at the end of the day. So right around that time, this is where we were, the Black Diamond sample sheet had popped up, because I was looking at this guy's technology, it was Screen Innovation. I'm like, gee whiz, that screen's freaking amazing. So I'm looking at this technology. Is that screen black? Is that a black screen? Because it said Black Diamond. And it's gunmetal. So I don't know the difference between gunmetal and black at the time, because it's a very dark screen, darkest screen I've ever seen. And as I'm staring at the screen, I was like, wow, I'm fascinated by this guy's technology. And my buddy Jim was like, yeah, man, it's like I got a sample sheet of it, and it's like having a little TV in your hand. I said, really? He said, exactly. He says, it's that freaking good. He said, these things are like $5,000. He said, they're definitely worth it. So when my birthday came up, my buddy June called me down to the sneaker store. I popped down over, and he said, I got something for you. I said, what you got? He said, I got a sample sheet for you. A sample sheet of what? He said, I got a sample sheet of Black Diamond. I was like, oh, really? He said, really? So, man, I couldn't wait to get home, man. I went and bought some Chinese food and stuff. I was going to eat and just try to see how compare the screen to my stuff. I didn't touch any of the Chinese food. All of it went cold. You know why? Because that screen beat everything I had in the shop. I literally thought I could take it. I Heck, I got a contract here, and they thought my stuff was good. I have to be to beat this screen. I got to be better than this company. I have to be better than the company. And mind you, same thing. When I challenged people here, I was challenging Sonic Chill and another company, the guy called Dark Energy Abyss, and me and freaking Mississippi Missing Man always got into it constantly all the time on ABS forums. I was battling everybody because they were saying, oh, you got to sand down the surface and you can't do this and can't do that. And I'm like, oh no, the freak you can. We can paint over the surface we want. We can do this. And I was going fights back and forth with everybody. The same stuff you see here, but these arguments were different. It wasn't anybody taking your pictures and doxing addresses and all that dumb stuff. That's dumb idiots at the end of the day. No, it was just basically discussions back and forth we had, and you just had to back it up. They would have never survived in that area because he'd have came in at that range game nonsense. Like, man, if you get out of here with that dumb nonsense, back it up. So you couldn't come back into the forum site unless you could show you could back it up. That's why you saw those demonstrations of this paint wall and cardboard and fabric and all that stuff, because I had to back everything up when I had to go into those sites. But anyway, after all that nonsense between them, and I saw the diamond technology, I kind of cut them off. My brain shut off toward them. And I started, my focus was toward that diamond technology. And I'm like, wow. I said, if this is what the future looks like, I don't have anything here to touch it. I can't touch this. And I spent months in that little rented room just going at it, trying to make a gray screen paint, a dark gray screen paint to compete with the diamond technology. And after about 2 months, and nobody heard from me, people popping from town to town telling me, "You still alive?" I'm like, "Yep, still here. Just trying to figure this thing out." I got it. I hit their screen. I was able to figure it out. And I sat there and shot the video. I remember I put the video up, and my buddy June was like, "You got it?" I said, "I got it. I got it. I landed the screen. I got it." The difference between my product and theirs was the fact that their screen had a narrow viewing cone effect. I literally had that sample sheet right here. It had a narrow viewing cone effect. So when I was doing the demonstration, when I went to turn to the side, it went dark. And I was like, what the freak is that? Because I didn't know what that was at all. I was like, why is the screen doing it? I thought my camera equipment was acting up. Maybe it was my camera equipment, maybe the lighting in the environment. What was causing it? My screen wasn't having an issue. So I called my buddy June because I wasn't leaving the house for a bit. And I was like, hey, look, man, I turned to the side. Why does it turn dark like that? He said, oh, that's a narrow viewing cone effect. That's what it causes when the screen goes dark from side to side. Oh, really? And that's when I realized that my product was better because we had the zero narrow viewing cone effect and they did. So, was doing a bunch of testing, was putting stuff up over and over and over again, doing our stuff here and there. Let me see. And I basically did about a dozen demonstrations, popped over to forum sites, just about every place. And when I popped over these forum sites, I was showing them the diamond technology, and everybody was like, "How much? How much? How much you charging?" That screen's a $5,000 screen. How much? And I was like, "Well, we want at least about $800 a quart for it." And they were buying it up. The D5K, D6K sold like crazy, $800 a quart because it could take out. It didn't take out. It matched a $5,000 screen. So I'm thinking, when I first marketed it for 800, I'm thinking like, anyone's gonna pay that. I'm just curious. So I'm sitting here in the store with my buddy talking, and my PayPal notification goes off. I go, I look up, I go, freaking like $1,600 in here. Yeah, they were buying it up like crazy. So later on, as that went on, Diamond was watching me. I didn't even know they were even watching me at all, period. I had no idea a company like that would take the time to watch me. Why would they watch me at all, period? Hold on for a minute. So I'm sitting there. I'm still going through the nonsense with the other people already. At this particular point, I'm not even thinking about Digital One because I'm going to use this technology to wipe it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to destroy my own technology to get rid of them because I'm in a global contract with them. And when I signed the contract, thank God the Lord basically directed me on all this. When I wasn't listening to him, because I should have been listening to him more, but I wasn't listening, he would still guided me. I didn't sign my name to that contract. I signed the company's name. So they had all rights under Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. Not now, because we're way beyond statute of limitations. Now we're way past that, because that happened many years back, so the contract has depleted. But if I had signed my name to that thing, that means they would still have rights to even the technology I have now. But I signed it under Digital One. And they did. They took me to court. And they stated that because we had all the beta testers, which I'll show you the whole timeline on this. Because we can back, again, naysayers. See what I'm doing? I have files that back everything up. And they talk about stuff and they can't back jack up at the end of the day. No, we back our stuff up. Let me see. I'm already talking about Black Diamond already over on that side, talking about Black Diamond. So yeah, so I'm sitting there doing all this testing. We got the screen. And then later on, I get this phone call. And the guy calls in and he says, I'm so-and-so from Screen Innovation. And I'm thinking it's my buddy June, because they like to play a lot of jokes. I'm like, yeah, right. He knew I've been in here freaking testing this screen out for like days on end, for months on end. This guy's coming to play jokes. All right, buddy June, click on the phone up on him. A guy probably on the other like, what the freak? Who's June? So then he calls me back again. And I go, hello? Oh, come on, man. Look, man. Once is enough, man. I'm tired. I got to be up, man. I got things I got to do. He was like, no, I don't know who the freak June is, but my name is so-and-so. We're from Screen Innovation. I said, okay, you're from Screen Innovation. Do me a favor. Send me an email with your watermark on it. Because I don't know if you're fake or not. Send it over. And sure enough, when I finally got up and got ready, I wanted to check my email. I saw the notification that came through from them, and the watermark was on it. It was actually them. And I'm like, oh, shoot. These guys contact me. Now, was I worried about them suing me? No, because I didn't do anything wrong. I did a fair test. All I did was just take the screen, stick it up against it, show white levels, color levels, contrast, like I've been doing from day one. That's all I did in the full environment. So I didn't do anything whatsoever to make their screen look bad at all, period. Didn't say it was a scam. Didn't say it was a ripoff. None of that whatsoever. I'm up there on camera talking about, man, I'm trying to compete with this amazing technology because, again, we don't have anything in the shop that can take it, and I don't want to be on the receiving end of this thing. So then a guy contacts me and says, hey, look, I've been watching your videos, and we feel your product has potential. Potential. That's why I said, Jamie, when you took my video that I did on diamond technology and you tried to ridicule that, see, this is why you're jealous. I can clearly say you're always jealous about everything that I do. I do a test against Screen Innovation. Oh, that's fake. That's phony. That's blah, blah, blah. This is where I show at the end of the day that why you're jealous of everything that I do. And these people know me already because back in 2016 or 2015, I was talking to these guys. And this wasn't about a black technology. This is about a very dark gunmetal technology. So if the demonstrations that I did were false and not real, they would have picked up on it. They would have saw it that many years back. The fact that you come in and show it, because again, you can't measure up to my products. That's why you act that way. So you try to downgrade my technology and say that, oh, he's just like everybody else when darn well we're not. But you'll get your chance in court because I can't wait. The day I'm going to file a document on you today. A special document for you. So you'll be getting that shortly. But anyway, that's a fellow by the name of Jamie Fernando Gonzalez who basically tries to slander my products constantly all the time. All right, let's go open up this right here and let's have a look at the letter. This is the letter we received. Now, which is interesting too about this letter that we got from Screen Innovation. They tried to send me a letter that was from them. It was a fake email. Oh, you left the room, get back in here. Yeah, they tried to send me a fake letter by Screen Innovation and Daylight Screen to try to make it look like this company was coming at me so I can delete my videos. So that way, I don't keep raising the bar to make it harder for them. Because I know your customers, if you do have any left, are probably asking you, how come you don't test yourself against Screen Innovation or any high-end, high-performance screens? And you're probably saying, oh, all the demonstrations he does are fake. Yeah, that's you at the end of the day. Lazy. Don't do any work. But here you go. So this right here is conversation that we had right here. That's the fellow right there. There's the date. So it was Thursday the 17th of 2015. So I told you around 15. Contact for Kenneth Bird. This is my company right there. Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, or Digital One 4K Crystal Onyx. If you go look this up on my YouTube channel, you'll see the beginning of our technology, which dates back 8 years, probably 8 to 9 years back, which means we have black technology. We're developing black technology long before anybody else had it. Right here, you can see the conversation that he had for me, because I told you he woke me up, and I'm thinking it was my friend basically carrying on, but it wasn't. He says, Kenneth, good talking to you this morning. Sorry I woke you up. As I stated, we are interested in looking at your product. It seems to have potential. So let me get this straight. Somebody in a dark apartment that doesn't know the difference between house paint and professional screen paint is going to sit there and talk trash about my demonstrations against, I'm doing it next to Screen Innovation, and say how I did my demonstration incorrectly, when yet this company, the actual company itself, contacted us and said the product had potential. That just clearly shows you, Jim Damien, at the end of the day, that you are jealous. That's what you are. That guy's an idiot, I swear sometimes. Let's see. Lets me know, let's see, has potential right there. Let's see. Let me know when you are ready to continue the discussion. So I'm looking at this. I'm in the house like, oh, shoot. Like, this is crazy. Now, another thing, too, consider the fact, again, Screen Innovation. I think the lawyer that they sticked on us was a bully tactic. Because again, if they felt in any way that I was basically moving in on their territory or I was basically disrupting their sales at the end of the day, why would you send me this? That's not how you start off being upset with someone. That's like me starting up and sending Jamie a letter or McAfee or whatever, a letter, and say at the end of the day, oh, that's my character, what I'm talking about, and say that, um, hey, you guys, your stuff has potential, and I'd like to discuss this a little bit more, blah, 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 even though they're out there slandering my stuff. No one starts anything like that. We start by saying, hey, look, so and so and so. Oh, forgot the cease and desist order on top of that. We got to send it to the judge. We send you a cease and desist order, back down, blah, blah, blah. You're going to get sued, da, 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 da. That's how that conversation starts off with when a company's unhappy with you. Not like this. So this is what we received here under the Digital One 4K Crystal Onyx. Now, if I go over here, this is the attorney that contacted us right here. Hear me in the back on time. Someone's supposed to send me black paint. Never got it. This is the attorney right here. So the attorney contacted us. So we're gonna be sued if we didn't remove the videos and all that stuff whatsoever. Now, mind you, when I first started off, didn't know much. Like I said, I'm still learning about business. So we removed all the videos. And my buddy was like later on, said, you didn't have to remove jack, because at the end of the day, if they felt that you were doing falsehood, if you were doing all this stuff against their product, they would have never sent you that email to begin with, the first one. This is the first one that would have came in, but I never thought about it. So I removed everything off the site. I did keep some videos. I do have them on file, stuff like that, because I back everything up. And I removed all the videos. And then their lawyer contacted me a couple of times and was asking me what was I working on. Yeah, yes, sirree. So, I told you that at the end of the day, I respect the technology that Diamond does. I love their technology, I do. I respect it. It is what it is. It's very good. It's responsible for our black technology that we have now. Because after designing the gunmetal technology, I wanted an actual black screen because that's what I thought he had. I thought he had an actual black screen. And now I was already on that crave for black technology. It already triggered off. So we developed the black screen. But because of what Diamond did, because Screen Innovation could have went in and basically left it alone. No, they decided to bully tactic me. So that's why all the technology we make, Jamie, at the end of the day, you understand this when I tell you this, get it through your thick skull at the end of the day, has nothing to do with your junk paint. Our stuff is strictly designed to knock out certifies, especially the Screen Innovation technology. I engineered every bit of it. Every bit of it's designed to take out their stuff because I didn't like the way they treated me. I don't like how you come in and you extend this olive branch of good faith and then you come in and you stab me with a dagger. I didn't like that. Never said their product was crap. Never said their product was this, that. Never said anything about that. If anything, we give them high marks about basically, if I never saw that technology, I'd still be making great paint today. They're the reason why we converted to black technology and the darker technologies. So we have respect level for their technology and always will. I don't like how they treated us. And because of that, everything we design is designed to take out their products. You, on the other hand, on my journey on basically researching certified screens, because now I got to a point where I didn't want the Diamond anymore. I wanted all certified screens because then it was like a kind of a personal thing. Now I'm just going to knock out certified screens left and right because they're just in my, I'm taking them out. Every time I go to a forum site, to be able to go in and have a screen paint, take down a certified screen is like a trophy on my wall right there at the end of the day. Now as we're on our journey traveling to take out these screens, to do more research and study and bring these surfaces in to basically conduct studies on how to basically take a certified down. You jokers pop up with this screen paint nonsense. So in the process of my convoy going to destination to do what we need to do, and you just got flatlined every single time. My trucks would just roll over your stuff and just keep on going. And you just keep coming back for the abuse. You just keep crushing your stuff over and over again. Like the gray paint that's going to be shipped to your place in about a couple of days. It'll be there in a couple of days. And you will be have to do that demonstration test because you're going to need to, because you're going to need that evidence to help you in court. He's being challenged in court. His company ripped off a lot of people. But anyway, let's get back to this right here. So this is what we received from them. And that's what made me mad about what Screen Innovation did. Do I have any hatred for them? No, I don't give people hatred at the end of the day because I don't give Satan that satisfaction. But I do design my technology to be better than theirs. So, after all this right here, let me see. And again, as I said before, if you guys are sending fake emails to my account to claim that you're these companies at the end of the day, I think I know what documents look like. Oh my goodness, like really, sometimes when they send me stuff at the end of the day, I look at them like, do these guys graduate from school or anything? Oh, never mind, let's move on. So anyway, from there, it's going to come out of this file right here. All together. I'm talking about the gray paint right now. It served this time. It's obsolete. All right, so now we developed the digital 4K crystal onyx. Because right now, as I'm working on that technology to design something, better technology, I'm on a different path now completely. But I'm still dealing with this right here. This is still in the picture. Still in the picture. So I got all the beta testers to go in and test the new technology, which is a digital 4K crystal onyx, a D5K and D6K against the digital 1 crystal screen paint, because I already did the test myself to see what the alignments were, and our product was way more advanced than the gray screen paints that these guys make today. So we go back over here and we go to, wait a minute, I might still talk. I'm talking on one of these. Let's pause that for a minute. Where am I talking here? Here I am. All right, I'm gonna pause that for a minute, and we're gonna go into look up the channel under the digital 4K crystal onyx. All right, so we get all the beta testers. All the beta testers are now testing the new technology versus the digital 4K crystal onyx. I have all the beta testers do it side by side, so that way we can basically obsolete the digital one. And by doing that, we were able to take take my own company out. I literally had to destroy one of my companies. So with that being said, they got ticked off about it because now they're seeing all these demonstrations for this new product popping up, and the beta testers are doing tests, and they're pushing the tests on their sites, and now they're upset about it because now they're saying, well, that's not fair. You can't go in and basically make a new product because you thought I had one. That's the only product I can make. That's what you thought at the end of the day. You stole those crumbs at the bottom of the table, didn't you? Didn't wait for a while. If you sat there and waited and didn't get greedy about the little crumbs under the table, you would have saw the advanced technology we were capable of designing. But no, you got greedy, and now you lost everything. And we can basically use our own technology to obsolete our own stuff. And that's what we did. So I came in, and that was designed. That is a digital 4K crystal onyx true black screen paint when it first came out. And it also shows that our track record on how far we go back. So when someone says, oh, we've been developing black, oh, go ahead and make that statement. Please make a statement that you're going to say that you've been out before me in developing black technology, because I'll definitely challenge you on that in court. Now, I got a while long of beta testers, or whatever you named it, that's your date back basically when you started making this stuff. This would be approximately, let me see what we got here. Digital crystal onyx we have here. This is before we weren't even streaming at that time at all, period. The stream was even available at the time. But anyway, so as we go back and we're doing our tests, all the beta testers, we direct all the beta testers, test against the digital one. We want you to tear it up. They go in there and the price of the product starts to drop because nobody wants it. They want the new stuff. That's what they want. They want that black technology. They want that heavy, we call it dark gray. That's what they wanted. So now they're mad. Now they're contacting me because at first they weren't contacting me. They weren't even reaching out to me. Every time I call, I get their answer machine. Every time I call, I get their answer machine. They never reach out. Now all of a sudden, we want to call me every single day and figure out what this stuff is, because now their investors are looking at it and they want this technology. They want that black screen. But now I'm not returning your calls anymore. I'm not speaking to you no more. Because when I go out there and I may take the time to try to contact you over and over again, we send you emails, whatever, and you cut me off like that, then you can't reach us anymore. So now they're when we go to the site, more and more people are mentioning they want this new black stuff. What is this new black stuff? What is this so and so and so? And the beta testers are pumping. They're pumping this stuff right through their line. And next you know, we get a document from to go to court. They're going to sue me now. They're going to sue me because they said that I sabotaged the company deliberately to take the money from them. Blah 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 blah. But we were able to show in June through his computer work and all that, was able to dig up all kinds of stuff on it to show that they were slowly trying to take my company from me. And basically, they were saying that still, I have something. They have entitlement to the black technology, and the judge was like, "No, you don't." I said, "This man signed this under his company's name. His name is nowhere on the contract." They really didn't look at that contract, really, did they? They looked at Digital One, but they didn't care anyway because they were just trying to take Digital One, period, from me. So they couldn't care. They thought probably it was a blessing for them because I didn't sign my name to it. Because they figured that's the only thing that I have and I couldn't make anything else. So they figured they're going to be to take my company. Go ahead, take it. It's yours. We just obsoleted it. It's worth nothing. And that's what happened. And they lost their claim. We got out. We had the new technology and they lost everything. All their investors pulled out. Nobody wanted it. They want the black technology. And because of that, because of what happened, I'm not going to tell you what country it is, but they got a lifetime ban. To this day, they can't buy anything from us. We deny all orders coming from that country. We don't play around, we ban you. We give you ban for 10, 20 years to sit on top of you. Not interested. I've had them contact me a couple of times, asking a few questions here and there, and I just block them. So let's see the date on this one. Did I put the date on here real quick? What we got for here? Yeah, here we go. Here's my date on this product. Sorry, 9 years. 9 years. So 9 years ago, I was making black technology. So somebody who makes that Series C nonsense, that crap at the end of the day, you're going to tell me at the end of the day, the person who invented that black technology, how black technology should work, you and Solid Wake 5 or Moncrief or what's been Daniel or McAfee or whatever your name is, that's what you consider that right there? You can question my work at the end of the day? I've been here longer than you guys have. Oh yeah, we know you. We do. We know you. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, that's what obsoleted the Digital One. And they did contact me. There's a conversation I had with them. I said, do you remember the conversation at the table? Do you remember me saying, why do you fight for the crumbs below when it's a full course meal over top? They said, I just thought I was just joking or about something. I said, no, I was telling you something. You guys fought for those little crumbs, the Digital One. That's the base of our technology. You started, we were developing all this crazy stuff to come up. It was more gray and silver paints, but after we saw the diamond technology, there was no point in making that stuff anymore because that stuff was worthless next to that technology. I said, if you had only just chilled, kept everything on the communications, business, I'm gonna tell you something. The most important thing in business is communications. Communications is everything. Communications can make and break a company quick. Doesn't make a difference if the company has a ton of power, a ton of connections, whatever. Without that communication, connection back and forth, it ain't worth my time. I will cut a contract over communications in a hot second. It's a headache. I'm trying to get back to this person to try to give him information on this and so on and so on. So we got tons of specification sheets. I got to educate you on this stuff. We can't reach you at the end of the day. How the freak am I going to educate you on this stuff we're trying to teach you at the end of the day? It becomes a headache. So your communications has to be extremely good. The minute I start seeing, this is why I started doing contracts more on a kind of a test trial before we sign anything. So I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. I don't do any more of this sign over completely. No, we don't do that no more. There's been too much of a headache on that. But these are things that you learn in business as you go along. This is what you learn in business. A better way of doing things. Yeah, screens outside, all that. As a matter of fact, this is the blue technology right here. It's the first version of the blue technology. Right there. That's a beta tester right there showing our screens outside. So we had beta testers for the digital one, we had beta testers for the black technology, and that's how we were able to get out of our contract, a 10-year global contract that they had me locked into. If I had signed my name to that contract, I'd have been done. Definitely would have been done. But the Lord allowed us to go in, be able to develop a new technology, and move past. See, gentlemen, unlike you, I have a history. You don't have a history. You can't go back and show the evolution of your technology growing. You can't back up anything. I can literally sit here and have a conversation and pull up documents and back up everything I just said. This is the meeting they had that we didn't find out about. My buddy was able to obtain videos, all kinds of stuff. He said, Ken, you're not going to like this. This is going to tick you off. You were right 100%. They're trying to rip you off. And I said, okay, that's the role we're going to play. No problem. I'm obsolete. I'm taking the company down. I took it down too. Little keychains, the stuff that were in the gift bags. We didn't receive any gift bags. We didn't get any of this stuff at all. I'm like, wait a minute, wait. I said, where's the keychains at? Where all that stuff at? How come we didn't get any of that? We didn't get none at all, period. He said, we'll send you down something. We never got anything. So I said, okay. So it's like a little warning to any company that does business with me at the end of the day. Look, I'll design enough technology for you to drown in at the end of the day. But if you even think about at the end of the day trying to swindle me in any way whatsoever, it's not going to go well for you at all, period. Really just not going to go well for you. You're going to steal from me, you steal from God. It's not going to go well for you. Besides, the more and more I put my trust in the Lord, because I didn't put much trust in him when I first started my business. I had trust in him, but not on the level I have right now. We can see stuff before it happens. It's kind of like that having that third eye. You got to put more faith and here in the spirit, and you can see things. So we can see the wolf in sheep's clothing in model. That's why I can see all those fake emails and dumb nonsense guys send over. We can see through all that. Look at the showrooms they're having for myself in here. Jamie, did anyone treat your paint this way? Nope, not whatsoever. Now, it's funny because you're making the product in the wrong era. Your stuff is obsolete. It's really old. If you had came up in this era right here, right in this era, you did pretty good. You wouldn't even have to cut any corners and fake and lie because everybody was expecting for that paint not to work in a fully lit environment anyway. Now, consider the fact that now some of these people, what they do, and you got to be careful, they'll take the older screen paints that everybody can make, and they'll introduce them. Because the reason people say, well, it looks different from the screen paints back then. No, it's the same thing. It's just a more advanced projector it's being hit with. That's all. So if they did all 720p's back then, you know what I mean? Some people had 1080p's, and you hit that projector with a 4K, it's going to look much different. That's why. It's the projector doing all the work. There's the ink pens right there. And these are some of my customers and beta testers showing off our technology at 720p. Because we had those are the VR glasses that we're going to have, the 3D glasses. There's some more demonstrations in some of the showrooms for the screen. That's a demonstration in my room, a little rented room. There's another one in my rented room. Right there. Now see how the environments are not like really well lit? Yeah, because that paint had limitations on it. That's why. But now today, you're doing demonstrations in dark environments. Are you kidding me with the ambient light rejection and how powerful the lumens are on projectors today? No, you should not be doing that at all, period. That means your stuff is old. That's our beta tester right there. This is for a digital and crystal screen paint 3.6. And this was selling overseas. Zone 708 was one of our beta testers for our company. Man, that's a long time ago. So, when I sit there and tell you, gentlemen, at the end of the day, that your products are obsolete and old, they are. And as for the Series C nonsense, that product came up gray. You know, when I first painted this down, when my beta testers all painted this down, this didn't come up gray, it came up black every single time in every single demonstration. You paint a screen now that's supposed to be black and that thing comes up gray, that's a huge major fail. Can't get around that one. It's kind of hard to get around that one because now you're going to have to do dozens of demonstrations and oh gee whiz, you're missing so much stuff, it's not even fun. You might just forget it on half that stuff. Yeah. You're missing a lot of test demonstrations. And for you to sit there and tell me that I don't know about black technology, man, I was here before you ever thought of on YouTube. If anything, you can learn from me, but I'm not teaching anything because it's a waste of my time. You do too much dirt, you cut too many corners. I don't even want to be affiliated with you guys in any way whatsoever. Would never do business with you guys. You guys are dirty. You're trying to get me sued. Do too much dirt. Get mad at a company, what you gonna do? Snap pictures of their heads and turn them into puppets and do weird stuff, dox their addresses and all that stuff. That's what you did today. I'm not touching you over the 10-foot pole. See, the difference between me and you guys in the day that when you did that stuff to me, I didn't do that stuff back to you. I went down and filed lawsuits against you on criminal charges. That's what I did. That's how companies do it. Not like what you guys did. So when people observe my YouTube channel, they see that we didn't go in and do all that nonsense. We went online and exposed you for all the things that you did, and we could back it at 100% because that's the same evidence we're going to use in court to prosecute you. So none of that stuff is a lie because we're going to use it in court. And they can see that basically I went to the FBI, I went to the police, I went to proper authorities and channels to take care of you guys and file these lawsuits. But you guys, on the other hand, just took pictures of me and slandered me and doxed addresses and did all this weird stuff at the end of the day. And that's why companies won't touch you because you didn't handle it professionally. That's why. Yeah. Yeah, all this stuff that, yeah, John, did you know that? All this stuff that we talk about you in our videos and stuff, yeah, that's going to be used against you in court. That's our evidence and stuff that we have against you. Research we did on your company, you know, like perjury and all other stuff like that. False specifications, all the research we did to find this range gain, couldn't find anything on it. So you'll go before a judge, the first thing to ask is, well, how do you know this stuff doesn't exist? Or we did the research on it. We looked for this stuff. Here's the YouTube video. Detailed search. Went through his channel, went through his Facebook page, Instagram page, went to everybody and couldn't find anything on this stuff. These are the countless videos that this guy by the name of Solid Wake 5 or what's he called? Daniel. You know, it's funny, you got the same name as my whatchamacallit? I got a cousin named Daniel. But anyway, yeah. So we did all that research, everything. So with that being said, we have to show that we can't just, when you say something out of your mouth, it's called hearsay in court. Unless you have concrete evidence that you can actually back this up. So yeah, we can back it up. That's why those videos are there, because we can reason it against you in court. But the very same things you said about me, you can't use that in court because it's not true, and that's what you're going to have to fight these coming months. Because if not, you're going to get sued and lose everything. So let's see how much of it's true. Because if it's not the way things are going, pretty much I'm walking out of that courtroom, yeah, with more money, and you're walking out with a whole lot less. And that's what that comes down to. So we couldn't care less what they saw on YouTube, whatever. All that stuff's being documented for court anyway. Just keep on talking. I don't care at the end of the day. You got to pay me either way. But let's get back to all this. So yeah, that's the history and all that. That's the video right there showing the product and where we first started making it, showing it from the digital one. And like I said, when I come on there and say that you're not making any money at $60 and you want to get mad at me at the end of the day, I know because I did it myself. That's how I know. So if I didn't charge $60 a quart, I was charging $50 a quart. And my stuff is far better than yours. As you can see, my track record versus your product. So with that being said, I wasn't making any money at all, period. Because all my money was being eaten up in the resources and in the business and trying to process the orders. That's where it was going at. The thing about it is you can't come in and charge the same kind of money I was charging for my digital one because your product matched house paint already. Well, I'm glad that never came up in any of the demonstrations. But then there was no gray paints out there. There was none. There were no gray paints at all. It was all white paint. So in order for you to make a gray paint, you had to mix black and gray. Do you know how easy it would have been back then if there were gray tones out there? It'd have been so much easier. So much easier to do it that way. But no, it wasn't. You had to make everything from scratch, literally. Now with these gray tones out here, oh, you can just pull it off a shelf and do it. All right, went to the past, black to the past. Fake paint, black to the past. People loving the technology, just loving the technology. But you're bitter. We know you're bitter. All right, so I had to do some research last night. Somebody popped up on my Facebook page, and I got to tell you something real quick. You know, you got to learn, don't pop up on my Facebook page doing dumb stuff, not my business page, and your account is intact. Don't do that at the end of the day. Don't do that. Because at the end of the day, I told you, we got a private investigator, all right? He's going to find everything on you at the end of the day. If you're up to shenanigans, you're doing dumb stuff, you know you shouldn't be doing, that's his job. That's what he's on the payroll to do. He's on the job to track down people that are doing dumb stuff, get them together. Maybe some of them we may send. We get some new ones that come in after we get them prosecuting these guys. I'll try to be nice and send you a cease and desist order, give you a warning. But mind you, just to let you know that once we send you that cease and desist order, it's going to be a nightmare if you basically don't want to follow through on it. If you don't remove videos and stuff like that, like we request, and you want to follow through and keep going on with it, I'm going to take you to court for $1 million. So you know that. It's going to be no 50,000, no 12,000. It'd be a straight cool 1 million. Because again, I got to pay for this. I got to pay for this guy to go in and get an attorney and all this stuff, to write up all this stuff, to send all this stuff to you through certified letter, even though I get all that back in the court cost, but still it's a headache for me. And I got to get him to find out exactly where your location is at, so we can get all this done and then get you served and get all this docket paperwork to you. So if we send you out that cease and desist order, like Jamie got one, and you refuse to abide by that, keep in mind you forfeit all your rights. So when he goes to court, basically, and they asked, did we warn him? Yes, we did. We sent him a cease and desist order. He did acknowledge it, and he kept on going. This is involving the copyrights, because that's what that's about. So he's automatically lost it already from the door. He gave up all his rights when he did that. So I would advise the lawyer's going to advise you to contact him. Give you permission to contact me. You have my contact number, and you say, hey, buddy, look, at the end of the day, you know, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to bother with it anymore. So be it. Go about your business. You don't even exist to me anymore. But if you basically feel the need that you're going to go in and tamper with our stuff and carry on that way, I'll see you in court. And this is usually we see the most crime at. Only the naysayers are getting there and go, well, at the end of the day, he shouldn't do that, because any company's going to do that to you. Anybody's going to do that to you. Anybody. Now, it'd be different if somebody says, hey, you say anything about my product that's bad, I'm going to sue you. Can't do that. Because, again, as long as the guidelines of saying, okay, they might say, I might not like it. It's not for me at the end of the day. I say it a lot about a lot of stuff. It's not for me. If I'm going to sit there and say, oh, well, you know, I'm not a big fan of this company right here, when I think their products are all a scam, unless I can prove it's a scam 100% and I can back it up, then I'll say it. If I can't, I'm not mentioning it at all, period. And for you guys in the day, we can call yourself scams because your stuff matches house paint and still continue to sell that mess at the end of the day. You know you shouldn't have been selling that stuff. You should have pulled that stuff from the shelf. Should have pulled it from the shelf and apologized to your customers. Anyone who made any recent orders should have gave them back their money and should have tried to make a product next time around, testing under the product that you got caught with to begin with. That's what you should have did. Or, even better, should have just did your test to begin with, and then that way you wouldn't have got caught up in that craziness. I wonder how this turned out. Because I streamed this from my phone. Not bad. I should have stood still, but I couldn't stand still because there were literally people walking, like there were people behind me. It's a nice day in the park. There were people behind me and people to the side, and I keep the camera down because I didn't want to catch anybody on the recording. You know, was there somebody over there I caught? I don't know. But anyway, I try to keep the camera down. And then you got people see out there and they see you talking and they think you're streaming, and then they want to come up behind you all close. They can try to get on camera. Like, really, people? And if you don't like it, then you want to turn around and sue me at the end of the day because I didn't get permission. That's why anytime you see me on site, when I had other people walking around me, you hear me on camera saying, yeah, I'm recording. I need your consent. Could you walk past the camera? Now, some people walk by and didn't care, and some people say, no, you know, and I would pick the camera and put it down. But I had to ask for that permission slip. Hey, Taco, they put the lotion on the skin. the lotion on his skin. Yeah, it came out pretty good. Pause it there. All right, I'm gonna get back to my. But as you can see, when I talk about something, I back it up. Everything I say, I back up. Yeah, show you everything right there. I'm gonna go look at this. So they do have that brown line wire that I can use for this. That's pretty cool. Okay. Gonna do some tests. I'm gonna test first and use it on a Molex adapter first before I plug this into my PC because I don't want to short anything out, jack it up. So I'm gonna test it on the Molex first. If I can't get it to run proper, I should be able to. Why shouldn't I be able to proper to get that to run? It should be basically. Well, these are DC. Oh yeah, then it should definitely run. Yeah, it should definitely run. These are DC. This will definitely run. Because if I'm doing this with if I'm doing this, Molex converts DC into AC. Molex adapters do. This will definitely run it. And I can get that old vintage brown with it. Man, I like that. It's got that warm light effect to it. That's what it has. I definitely got to get a giant cockroach because the giant cockroaches are freaking hilarious. I got to get one of those from the case. Let me see. Giant cockroach. Well, we need a toy giant cockroach. I don't want the real thing in there. I want one of those on the case. I actually want about 3 of them on the case. Toy. Don't want it too big. Oh, which ones look like more like on Fallout? These look like ones on Fallout, but they're huge. Oh my goodness, I gotta grab one of these now. I'm gonna scare the crap out of some of my friends. I'm really gonna scare the crap out of somebody with one of these. That is huge. I'm never gonna have a ball with this. Oh, this one's remote control? Oh, heck yes. Definitely. I'm not gonna take this into a restaurant. I'm trying to get sued. This isn't. Oh my goodness, you gotta be kidding me. I'm buying this. I'm buying that. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. It's huge too on top of that. Oh, Taka, you would love that. We do battle with the cockroach. I'm gonna get you one of these. And I'm gonna get one for myself. I'm gonna get some people good with this. Now I'm not doing no random strangers because I think that's wrong. Shouldn't do that. But in my family reunion, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be having some fun with this. I'm gonna set my camera up and put it right in the kitchen. Let a second run and run into the next. Oh, that's hot. That is definitely hot. I'm definitely getting me run. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? I gotta save this on here. I'm gonna go pick it up today. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. I'm gonna mess with somebody with this. But we need one smaller. I'm gonna find one I want what I want to get. And I'm gonna have to do a little paint job on it too to make it look more realistic from there. Oh. Why does Rainy 1010 look like the guy from freaking the Fallout? Oh shoot, what we got for time here? Whoop, gotta go. Got things to do. But yeah, that's what I'm naming my character. My character for my Fallout. Because the guy's gonna do, he has to 3D printer. So these guys an expert in this stuff, man. He's got a shop in 3D printer. They print anything. They print tables out, car parts, all kinds of. You got these really big machines in there. So I was gonna have a conversation with him. I was like, yo, man, I gotta get some special pieces that I need for my PC designs. And I was wondering if you could print some of these out for me. So he's gonna print everything out for me. And he does painting. His wife does all the painting and everything. They look fantastic. So he's gonna do some special parts for me. Because I do want my vault door to open up. So I do want a vault door on the side of that. So instead of it having a door on the side, I want my door to be an actual vault door. Like the guy had on here. That was pretty cool. I thought that was. And he's gonna design it for me. And I'm gonna design my action figure, which is going to be, I don't know how I'm gonna make him look. But anyway, his name's gonna be Daniel McAfee. And it's funny because, like I said, I got a guy that basically that I was locked up with named McAfee. I remember that. Madball. His name was Madball. I like the name. It has a good kick on it. And I'm basically gonna base his region and its history when the bomb hit. It hit. He was over in Idaho. Is it Idaho? Idaho. That's where the bomb hit at. And it's going to have his own story and everything. So I'm going to have his own storyline and everything behind it. So I'm going to do a little history on. I'm pretty sure it's got some nice history on it. I'm going to go study their history a little bit. because I'm gonna have a nice little plaque right next to it, and it'll basically give out the history about this guy. Or basically, I can just have it where it comes to a video feed too on top of that, because I got to build a theme around this thing. Got to build a theme around it. So it will make him one of the vault dwellers. A little bit of a vault dweller and an outcast, because again, he was in there, but then he did something. He got outcast, and then he became that. Or then we can make him a goon. Can I get pictures of this so we can get some kind of design for it? Oh my goodness, I thought about that too. I can put, and no offense to anybody, I hope, but I just want to basically design this for this particular purpose. We can make the city look like, or the town look like, basically the apocalypse hit it, like afterwards. That's when we had the vault on this side, because I want to do the whole inside. I want plenty of room, plenty of windows on this case, so you can see this entire world inside, like when we design our cases and stuff. So we can have it out there. You know, it's gonna be pretty cool. I can't wait to get working on it. We definitely got to have the giant cockroaches in there. Population 803. Here it is. This is Flushing. Is Flushing? Is that right? Flushing, Flushing, Idaho. So let me see. I don't know what that looks like. What does it look like over there? I'm always scared about other people live at. Interesting. Some nice architecture design, I'll tell you that right now. Nice retro design to the houses and everything. Ooh, that's nice. Look at that. Look at the vintage gas station. We have to design everything that looks just like this. We can design this right here. I definitely want the sign up there. Wow. This is nice. I like this. It has that kind of, literally, because some of the buildings have that kind of a 1950s kind of look to it. I'm a little older than that, but these are beautiful. I can make similar models to all these. Well, I'm about to put the town inside of my case. Well, some of it inside of my case. So, guys, take it as an honor, because usually, yeah, this is going to be a lot of work. It's going to look actually, it's going to look so realistic, look beautiful. I can't wait to hook it in, but yeah, it's going to be a beautiful case. Beautiful case. And I'm going to dedicate it to, yeah, we're going to dedicate it over Idaho. Well, definitely. It's going to look beautiful. I got some friends over there. I told them about that. Like, you're really gonna do that? So yeah, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna design one. I'm gonna put this town in the fallout, and it's gonna be made just like that. We're gonna put the vault somewhere in the background, somewhere up on top of a hill. And we're gonna put this little town down the bottom, and we're gonna have this guy. The main character is named Daniel McAfee. So story behind Daniel McAfee. We have to get a story for him, like how he became part of the vault, what happened in the vault, why he was basically taken out of the vault and he was extradited out there into that wild wasteland. It's going to be a very interesting story. So I got a lot of writing to do. Now people are saying, you do all that for a PC case? Yes, you do. You got to make the theme. You got to bring it to life. It's not. It's just boring. What do we just do? Take a case, put some parts in it, throw some LED lights in it, program it, done. That's it. It's a fun. This is beautiful. Very beautiful town. Population 803. Wow. Let me see something for me. Smallest population for a town.
Watch 100 plus channels and enjoy cable-free live TV with YouTube TV.
Let's see. Let me put it this way. What town has the smallest population? Well, you're not giving me a number here. One has 510 inhabitants, but 600. Wow. So yeah, 803 is considered to be a small town. It really is. I go to a baseball game. There's more than 800 people there. Huh. It's got to be interesting. At least you can get the headache and the hustle and bustle of the city. Gee whiz, Louise. And out that, I mean, your neighbors are not going to be around you like that. At that kind of population, people living out in the country, they're distant from each other. So everybody's got a couple of acres sitting in their backyard somewhere, or half an acre or a half. And some people live a little farther out. They got a couple of acres, so you're not living right on top of the person. Which probably majority, most people don't even live within the town itself. They live on the outskirts of the town. Unless they had a few small apartments within the town. Well, most likely in some of the small towns, they have the town itself, and then they have people live on the outskirts in town. Because usually, most people now, because they want to have that homestead life, they're buying land in small towns. That's pretty much where you're going to be at in a small town. If you buy that kind of land, you're going to be out there like that. And I think the only thing you'd have to worry about in zoning is basically how old the zoning laws are and if they're still active. That's the only problem you would have. Because some of those, hey, cut that out. Some of those zoning laws are freaking berserk. Some of them go back to like centuries, and they still honor them at the end of the day. That's the only thing you'd have to worry about. Unless you're really far out there and there's no towns near you at the end of the day, then you're not basically disrupted by the township in any way whatsoever. But still, if there's a town near there, you're still going to have to go there. I got a friend of mine, they have to travel 2 hours to watch a movie. Can you imagine that, being that far out, that you have to drive for 2 hours to get into town to watch a movie? Yep. 2 hours. But usually when most people got that kind of setup to begin with, they got everything there. They got everything they need. They got their own movie theater built in that place, everything they want. They really don't have to go downtown if they want to. Only if they want some kind of human interactive, because literally you're out there with just about everything else on the face of the planet, but there's very little people you're going to be out there with, because their chances are they're way over there somewhere. Consider the fact that if you have 20 acres and that person is 20 acres away from you, which would kind of freak me out a little bit, because if something happens to you, how fast can they get to you? Even if they were to fly you out, there's still a good hyper chance of you basically dying in the process. Well, that's kind of curious right there. But that's kind of, I guess, the kind of sacrifice field you take. You're in the city, good chance of you basically being admitted to an ER, being taken care of from the door. But if you're out there and you get caught in a hunting accident, anything could happen, and yeah, you're in that situation. I thought the most interesting and funny thing I heard, I had a few people got lost on their own property. You got 20 acres of land. Some people get 120s in a stick. And just to say, if you were to go out back and you don't know your land that well, you just buy it and you figure, I'm just going to take a walk to the other side to see if I can make it. After a while, you start to realize that all the trees look the same and you don't know exactly which direction you just came from. And therefore, you got lost on your own land. I had that actually happen to a friend of mine. They got lost on their own land. Yep. And if it wasn't for the farmer a little farther over who has drones to track down his cattle, they have the cattle sometimes with the tracking devices, and they basically send out a drone to find them. When they do wander off, that's how they're able to find him. Now, after that little incident he went through, he made sure that the next time he went through there, that he had trails put through and he had basically care packages put in. So that way, if you ever got lost out there, you got a way of surviving. Imagine it, getting lost on your own land. You know, it's funny because some people have that 20, 30, even 120, even 150, even 200 acres. The only people who really explore that land like that are pretty much people that are farmers. They're going to know their land. But somebody out there just buying it for the sake of just buying it, chances are they haven't even been that far out. They don't even know what's going on over there. And I wouldn't want to put trail cameras out there. I would never, ever put trail cameras on my property. You want to know why? Because I do not want to find out What the freak is out there creeping around in that bush? I don't want to know. Don't want to find out. I don't even want to know. Because people, you ever watch the on YouTube about people who found weird stuff that popped up on their trail cameras? You know, it's a lot of things about the world you don't know about. There's a lot of things walking on the earth you don't know about. And the only reason why you see them unless you see them. But yeah, they walk in front of cameras all the time. Oh, I'm gonna look that up for a minute. I shouldn't. I'm just curious. Okay, just wait a minute. Weird things that were brought up on trail cameras. Yeah, look it up. I ain't gonna look at this mess, but look it up. There's some weird stuff that people have caught on the cameras. Now, if there's somebody out there running around in a clown suit, you're screwed because I'm coming after you. First, I'll send drones after you because I'm not going to go out there in all that bush. I'll get a drone to go out there and get you. But I'm not going out there or sick some dogs out there. But then again, I don't know, that might be a bad idea. But the dogs might do something I have no control. That's them right on top of them, so that'd be a bad idea. But if you run around there with a clown outfit, yeah, we got something for you. Definitely got something for you. But other than that, if it's something that I know at the end of the day ain't from here, nah. Man, I'll pack up my stuff so quick and sell everything. I'll be out. Like, we're done. We're done. We had top 10 creepy things found on a trail camera. The funniest thing I heard were these guys were neighbors. And the guy had trail cameras put up there. And he had his daughter dressed up like an Ewok. And he dressed up like Chewbacca. And he played on the cameras. I thought that was funny. That's something great you want to wear around hunting season. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. That'd be some creepy stuff, man. But it happens. People find weird stuff that pops up on cameras. But that whole dressing up like a clown and running up property, yeah, good way to get yourself shot. At the end of the day, don't do that dumb nonsense. You have no idea who's wearing what on their property. Imagine you sitting up there on your property, working, doing some work, and you see a clown walk by in the distance. You know what's going to happen to you, right? You're going to go back and get a deer rifle, and they're not going to miss at all, period. Anyone out in the country, or people in the city too, but out there, yeah, that's their livelihood. Those guns. That's what something else too I found interesting too. That, and you remember the gun rack on the back of your. This is what I find interesting too. I'm gonna tell you about this. Why I think about a lot of crazy stuff, but most people would have their rifles on the back of their vehicles. I don't know how you do it now, but they have their rifles on the back of their vehicles. Where's this music coming from? Let me just turn this down. I can't find. I got too many pages open. But anyway, they would have their rifles on the back of their trucks because they hunt. That's their livelihood. Those weapons they have is their livelihood. Their protection and their livelihood, made it their livelihood. Because a lot of them don't go to the supermarket and all that stuff. They grow their own foods. They go out and they hunt, fish, and all that stuff like that. So they need their guns. Very important for them to have them. It's their livelihood. But I find it interesting that these guys can come from hunting, go to a bar, drink, get in fights, and they'll fight fist to fist out there. Maybe somebody might pull a knife or something. That's probably rare, but most of the time it'll be fist to fist. They'll fight hand to hand. They won't walk over to them trucks and grab one of those rifles and fire off, unless they're in a situation where their life is in danger. But chances are, most likely, it's going to be a hand-to-hand fight. You know why they're not going to go over to that truck and grab that rifle? Because if they lose their license, they lose their livelihood. They need those guns in order to be able to hunt and basically put food on the table for their families. And over here in the city, you put a gun rack on the back of someone's car, or truck or Jeep, gee whiz Louise, it's going to go bad on so many directions, it's not even funny. Mind you, I've seen fights happen at clubs where somebody says, I'll be right back. And we know where he's going. He's going to go right to the trunk of his car. He's going to grab an AK-47 or any kind of high-powered assault rifle, and he's going to walk right through. No consequences. Don't think about that because people lose their tempers. But think about that. How clear-minded when you think about that. And I saw that. Like, I've seen people get in fist fights, argue, all kinds of shove matches, and there's gun rack right there on their vehicle, and they will not walk over and grab that gun rifle unless they're in a situation where you got like 3 against 1 or whatever in a situation. They'll pull it, and hopefully they probably won't even pull the trigger, but they threaten to get them to back down so they could leave. And then you get over in the city and you give somebody a gun rack on the back of their freaking unit, on their truck. Yeah, Yes, sirree. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but there's a highly chance of that thing being fired off than it is in the country. At the end of the day, it really is. I just thought about that. Do they have the gun racks for the cars anymore? Are you allowed to have them anymore? Gun rack for the back of your truck. These are inside. Where's the outside? Gun rack for the outside of your truck. These are the ones they have now. These are actually inside. What's the one for the outside? Oh, what's the vintage one? Let me see. Vintage gun rack for the back of your truck. And you notice that all the ones that I'm looking at, all the ones they're showing, these are all hunting rifles. These are all used for hunting. But now, man, if we had these rules applied to the city, man, you would see all kinds of stuff strapped into a truck. Like, what the freak, really? You would see freaking AK. You'll see the AK-47. You'll definitely see that. You'll definitely AR-15s. You'll see those. You're not gonna see AA-12s and no 50 cal saws in there. Who the freak is carrying a 50 cal saw? Like, really? What would you even need that for? That's too obsessive. These are all. This is all hunting. That's all hunting right there. SKS was a snell drum, 50 cal saw. 50 cal saw. There you go. That's a 50 cal saw. Why would you even need that to begin with? Like, really? 50 cal saw. Let me see. Give me a 50 cal saw with C-mags. No. C-mags. C-mags. Not C-mags. C-mag. C-mag. Oh, no. Got it incorrectly there. Okay, C-mags. All right. That's the C-mags. Those are drums. C-mags. What about the Tommies? Tommy guns. They banned these things, man. These were freaking some real serious. I like to watch the gangsters and stuff like that, different kinds of weapons they use. The Tommy gun. What's a drum for a Tommy gun? What's a drum for a Tommy gun? We was using World War II on top of that. There were 45s, right? There were 45s on a Tommy gun? Let me see something. Tommy gun takes 45s? Oh, come on. Give me correct on this. I'll go back here. Tommy guns. You take 45s? Yeah, 45s. That's what they take. You're not supposed to have these. These things are actually against the law. Removing the firing pins for the Tommy gun. I tell you one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I remember a long time ago, freaking Modell's up in the Northeast, up near Franklin Mills, used to sell grenades. I mean, lie to you not. They were just basically, they were real grenades. They were just grenades. And they got rid of them because people were figuring out how to activate those bad boys. But they used to sell grenades as paperweights. That was a bad idea. That's what Modell's used to sell, basically vintage World War II and stuff like that, items, stuff like that the other day. Wait a minute, I'm listening for a minute. Fallout, the bomb. It's gonna pick up something completely different. I should put down the video game. Fallout, the video game. The video game, because they got that bomb. I don't know if I can find one of those, or I have to build it. I have to build it. The video game. Or do they sell it? They sell it and they want too much money for it. I'm gonna build me one. shoot, I'm sorry, it's at $200. This one's going for $79. Wow, that's a beautiful job. That is a real beautiful job right there. This one's for $29, but I have to paint it to look like this. This one's $91, but I don't want to pay $91 for this if I can build it myself. But it's still real nice. Look at that. Oh yeah, we can do this one. That's easy. We can make that. All right, I'm going to save this here because I'm going to make this. That's pretty easy to do too on top of that. And the paint job is really easy too. Oh, it's got a nice little rusted look to it, and it got a little dents in it. Oh, that's pretty nice. It's real nice. It's easy to dent. Okay, I got some ideas on what I want to do. All right, people, I'm out of here. Ain't much to show on any videos or anything like that because, again, it's a sale day, and I got orders to take care of, so I got things to do. I got to be cracking. I got to be out the door. I got to go pick up stuff. Oh, by the way, there's the curved cardboard screen. I already got it set up and ready to go. Just got to figure out that, well, actually, we already got it down to paint that we're going to use. We're going to do a custom paint job for this. This is our curved cardboard projection screen setup. Can't wait to get cracking on that. All right, with that being said, hope you enjoyed. And soon, as we, like I said, in between, I got a lot going on. We're still going to be showing off 5 more of the screen paints of the color technology. We have acoustic screens we have to test out. Yes, I have to be on site to show off some of our new technology, and I got some business deals popping up. I got the ad tech technology to finish off, so we can't sell it yet, but we have people that want to come down and show it off. So I am going to be renting out this little office area for you people to come down and check it out. So we're going to have some investors come down and look at that. And I got to contact them and let them know that we had to push some things back because of the paperwork. Mind you, I got paperwork doing that. And in between all that, I got to take the jokers to court. So with that being said, yes, a lot on my plate. And we're going to be building this in between. And we still got the cardboard PC. We have to build the retro pod that has to be done too. Oh, I left a lot of stuff on my plate. And on top of that, the Spartan. Yeah, I wasn't joking about that last night either. I'm dead serious. I'm actually going to launch a version of that. It's not going to be for sale, but we're going to use it to wipe everything out. I found out that I can actually post to eBay. I don't have to sell nothing. I just want my present known there while we're there. And then we'll hit Amazon, because I want to be to say that when we have this technology and we get ready to market to sell it, that we're able to test this on everything and it was able to do what it's designed to do, overpower the screens. And that's what we want. That's what I'm going to do. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, the Spartan, when we finally do launch it, because it is under the FLE, that sun killer technology we have, when we have to push back, we make 20 of those in the entire world, so you know this. So it doesn't make a difference if you got deep pockets or whatever. You the odds of you just getting one, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be extremely interesting. And no, they're not going to be crazy expensive and all this. No, they're not. They're going to be extremely reasonable. This is going to be extremely rare to get one. That's what the problem's going to be. Oh, by the way, it does come with a Spartan helmet, and no plastic. I mean, an actual, real Spartan helmet that you can wear and watch 300 while you watch it, because that's what I'm doing with mine. Okay, well, that's basically about it. The Spartan has a 4-screen product line of these rare limited edition screens. So if you can't get one of them, maybe you might get one of the other ones. They're all going to have those. That's what's going to be Spartan, but the others are going to have some kind of Greek mythology name to them, attached to them. So yeah, they're going to be some interesting technology when we're developing. Yeah, it comes down to if you can get one. Now, keep in mind the rules and policies that we have behind the Spartan technology, and so we're designing with that particular collection product line. It's very strict. So bottom line, if you try to come in and get 2 of them, both your orders will be canceled. You can't buy at all for at least 4 months. We'll know your account when it pops up or anything that pops up. You can get somebody else get it for you. I don't know how you do it in the day, but don't make things complicated for yourself. I will give you back your money in a heartbeat. So none of that. We're not doing all that. Come in and buy 4 or 5 and try to market and something. We don't do that in a day. We catch you with 2 of these and you're only supposed to have 1. Both your orders get canceled. Money will be transferred right back to your account. Got to keep things fair, people. And I like the fact that making the screen extremely rare. And we got 1 screen coming out. Maybe we might have an Omega. We don't know yet. Yeah, it's something crazy we're working on. We only make 2 of those in the entire world. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. All right, people got to go. Thank you all for your time, and God bless.